past scheduled time. What does that mean?
It's a good word, mofos.
What's going on, man?
What's going on? How you doing?
Oh,
Everything's going
I
good?
see. Pick a stream region, U.S. Northeast. Oh, and now I got
need
to,
a
I
computer?
see. I need to copy the URL here. And I need to go here. And I need to go to live stream. And I need to go here. And then I need to go here. And I need to copy the stream key. Settings saved.
Sorry, guys, coming in hot.
No worries. Yeah, okay, so we're streaming on YouTube. Why does it say privacy unlisted? Okay, there's a viewer. Hey, hi. Sorry, we're running a couple of minutes behind. I know the LinkedIn one isn't fucking working.
You got room?
I'm good, dude.
Because we have to see. We have to
crunch
just
in together.
well, not crunching it. We have space. You know what I mean? We have to be cognizant of that. Like we can't.
Sharing our space.
We can't really move. I'm like, dude, we'll get closer. It'll be fine.
I don't mind. Nothing but love.
I'm gonna try recopying the stream keys over because the LinkedIn Live one is not working. Settings saved. Yeah, it won't go live on LinkedIn. We might have to do without it for now.
It's not live on YouTube either. That I see.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Prepare to Friday. Prepare to go live.
What was that? Oh, this is. Oh my God.
Stagley. I figured for my first show back, why not?
Yeah. God.
Why not?
Oh,
Alright, I don't
everyone's
know.
wearing a hat. It's like maybe I should be wearing a hat too.
I know, right? Sorry, I'm not able to just go. All right, well, screw it. Like, just go
Camera
live.
resolution's janky. No.
There,
That's
wearing a hat.
that's just the monitor.
That's just the monitor feed.
Oh. All right. The monitor's janky.
All right, this is my last chance to get LinkedIn to go.
Why is it your last chance?
Well, because then I'm just going to start without
Without
LinkedIn. I mean, or we could sit here for the 2 hours and troubleshoot the stream, but I kind of want to do a podcast. I mean, like, not even kind of. Yeah, like the go live button's just fucking grayed out.
Boo.
Yeah, like, what is up with that?
Is it Riverside?
I'm not
I
a
don't
fan.
know.
I screwed around with Riverside a couple years back.
Like, it worked last time. Oh, well.
It's janky.
Well, we're recording and we're streaming to YouTube,
Boom.
although we have no concurrent viewers.
I can't find it on YouTube, so
You can't?
Let me go look.
Well, because it says unlisted.
that's probably why. I'm not logged in as you.
Why does it say unlisted?
Stogie Geeks. I see no live.
Yeah, it says we should be. It says live, 5 minutes. Connection excellent. It does say unlisted though. I don't know why that is. And I can't. Oh, wait.
Do you have to just
No, wait. Yeah, sorry. I didn't need to scroll. Okay, I can fix that problem. Okay, say now it's public. Okay.
Oh.
All right. Everyone good?
Good.
Recording there.
No. Why is that happening?
Come on. Hey, now it's showing live.
Yeah, okay, so it is. Okay.
All right.
Oh.
Yep.
All righty. Are you guys ready?
Ready.
Always
And
ready.
I'm going to light my cigar and stuff.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Like, hey. Okay, ready? 5 seconds of silence. Welcome, everyone, to the Stogie Geeks show. This is episode number 381, being recorded on Friday, May 31st, 2024. Let's do this, gentlemen. I am
do this.
excited, even though we're not streaming to LinkedIn. I apologize for that. We'll figure it out for next time. Mr. Joe Zempa is here with us. Joe, what's going on, my friend?
How's it going? I'm
Hey,
excited
man,
to
it's
be
going
here.
Good. Yeah. You know you got a Yankees hat on. You were supposed to wear a Red Sox hat, Jason.
Sorry. I went,
Jason
I went
Albuquerque.
I went Tom Brady. And
Jason Albuquerque is here with us. Jason,
Oh,
welcome
I
back
am
to
so sad
the
that I was
fully
not- I was-
revived,
I know.
revamped.
I'm so happy to be here, but I'm so sad I missed the first reboot show.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Because
It
you know
made- it
why?
made
The
me
first
sad.
two shows is like
made me
figuring it out. You know what I'm saying?
I honestly
like refiguring
Yeah,
it
no,
out.
I feel you. But I was paying attention on YouTube, and I sent you guys
Yeah.
a couple of messages.
Yes, I saw
saying
that.
I missed you guys, but
But it's good to have you here in
oh my
studio,
God,
man.
I miss
yeah.
it. I miss it. It is great to.
Yeah. So we are streaming on YouTube. So
Yep,
if you're
yep.
listening to the recording, you can go to the Stogie Geeks website and YouTube or YouTube channel, and you can tune in live every other Friday. I will try and put more of a schedule out there for when we're doing it, but we're doing it every other Friday, which I think is a great
And
time.
I plan to be here.
Remotely, we've got Mr. Jim McMurray, whiskey hacker himself.
Yay!
Jim,
Super
welcome to the
excited to be
show.
here.
Yeah, dude, it's good to have you. It's good to see you.
And I had to find a hat because you guys were wearing hats, so I had
Yeah,
to,
we had to wear it. We had to wear it. I broke
Yeah.
out my Stogie Geek shirt, and then I realized it's bright white, and so on camera, it's going to be really bright.
I was just gonna. I took a look over and I said, "Wow, look at the threads."
we
you're
need to
rocking
we need to
today."
do some more. I don't
do,
know if you
we
can see
do,
it on camera, but there we go.
Yeah.
Stogie Geeks logo embroidered
Nice.
on here.
you need
But
to
we
put it
can-
like
we-
in the
well,
middle, like down here.
Yeah, right.
That's gonna be Stogie.
You know what we need to
guts.
do? You know what we need to do? We need to get new ones of these, and we need to make them black.
Yes, 100%.
Or blue, or some other color that
100%.
looks nice on camera.
Slimming.
I don't know what I was thinking with white. So I will take that as an action item and get some new Stogie Geeks. Now I can't remember what these shirts are called. What are these called? There's a name. Guayavera. Thank you.
Guayavera, yeah.
Thank you, Jason.
You know, all I did was repeat what you said. So. you need to look at me.
That's right. I would like to thank our sponsor, ThreatHunter.ai. Jim, you have like an announcement. Are you ready to make that announcement? You've got like a new service. Are you? Do you want to talk about that?
No,
Okay. So
I was
stay
not
tuned
prepared
for
that.
Okay, maybe next time we'll talk about the
Next
new
time,
service.
next
2 weeks.
time.
Okay. So Jim, just give us a recap. What do you do at ThreatHunter.ai, and how are things going?
Things are going really great. Here's what we do: we find bad things that are occurring in your network, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And you know, we care about you. That's the crux of it. We care about you. We built up over the past 17 years a great, big, huge ML system that also has some AI and thrown in, and but we primarily use humans to go and find those bad things that are occurring, find them in real time, and stop them and mitigate them from doing bad things in your network. Much like you heard what happened this week with Snowflake.
No, what happened with Snowflake? I didn't actually see that.
Okay, so you know what Snowflake is?
Yeah, it's some like cloud company or something, right?
Your big, huge cloud company does lots of data analytics, AI.
Yeah. Okay.
They were breached, and one of the largest banks, I can never pronounce it, Santander. Yes,
Spanish.
30 million customers have been breached. All their credit card numbers, all their private information, and then on top of that, Ticketmaster uses them as well. They've been breached.
Right, and they were up over 600 million.
Yeah.
Records. I believe,
Now that's
right?
interesting because I closed out my Santander accounts, but the records could very well still be there.
Oh, they're
I'm not
still
sure
there.
how.
Sure.
Yeah, but I knew because like you can go back to the bank and pull your statements
Right.
up to a certain amount of time, and I'm not sure if they change how they store those if you're no longer a customer or not. But
And they just released, Snowflake just released the indicators of compromise. They're still trying to figure out how they got in to begin with.
Wow. Yeah, so we don't even know.
craziness.
It's crazy. It really is.
Lots going down.
I don't have drinks yet, but I'll take care of that. But let's talk about what we've been smoking, and then for our in studio host, I have a little gift that came from I actually Jim. I got to send you some things because we get samples still here on the show. So if you're listening and you work for a cigar manufacturer, we are back. So tell all your friends, tell all your cigar representatives if you'd like to send us samples. We will start incorporating those on the show, especially the ones that we really like. So I guess while I'm on that, I got a CAO Flathead 860. Now, what's amazing about this is that this is a cigar, and like you guys could probably look at the cigar and go, Paul, that's really not in your wheelhouse, right? Like, and I looked at it, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna dig. This cigar is massive. I don't know what it's obviously a 60 ring. It's box pressed. It's probably an 8 or 9 by 60.
Wow.
It's massive, and it has some strength to it, right? So like the first 2/3 are medium bodied, good flavors. Like you get a little bit of earthiness, a little bit of chocolatiness in those first 2/3, and then the final third really kicks in with what to me tastes like Nicaraguan tobacco that kind of just amps up. Similar flavors, but just amped up in strength in the final third. So make sure you eat a good meal before you smoke these. Unlike I did when I smoked the first one, and then I was starting to turn green. Is
that like a 2-hour cigar right there?
Oh my! It's maybe 3. I smoked one, so I've smoked several of them, and I smoked one at a cookout last Saturday at my neighbor's house, and I like it was like almost like the whole cookout.
Wow.
I was still smoking. Like we were leaving, and it was down to like the nub, and it was still in my hand because I didn't have an ashtray to put it out in.
Wow.
And that was like 10 o'clock at night, and I had to have lit it up. It's 6:30, 7 o'clock. So yeah, it's massive. So I have ones for Joe and Jason.
Awesome.
Enjoy your CAO Flathead 860.
Woo, look at this bad boy.
From the fine folks over at CAO. And General is it General. Now, see, we got to do an episode where we talk about who owns what today
what these days.
in cigars,
So much
because I get really confused. But I believe those samples came from General. I think CAO is owned by General. Is that true? I got to validate that on the internet. There's people yelling at me. Look that up quick. But I think you guys are really going to like that cigar. I think it's fabulous. What are we smoking?
So I went into the time machine back to when we talked about the Castagli cigar, the Cypher 3311, and I bought a bunch of those after the show, and I actually broke out the Enigma. It comes in this beautiful coffee.
Oh yeah, are those good? Some of those are on sale right now. They're still kind of pricey, but they're on sale.
They are. I think this one's 50 a cigar. This one's 50 a cigar. There
Yeah.
are some that are 60.
Small Batch had those, and we're not sponsored by Small Batch. I know, Jim, you know the guys over at Small Batch. I love them as a company. They're one of the places that I order from regularly, and they've got some of those on closeout. Of course, now that I've said that on the show, people are going to go, oh, well, the Stogie Geeks think it's good, and it's on sale, and they're going to be gone. So if I don't order it right after the show, I'm
Right.
screwed. Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you that I rested them since the show. I haven't smoked
Yeah,
one yet.
so it was,
So I will tell you today.
awesome.
Yeah.
Joe, what are you smoking?
I'm smoking something weird, but I'm kind of digging it. It's Simone Rojas. So, I've been trying to get some some cigars that you can't find on the internet and stuff like that. So, they're available at Atlantic Cigar. You could pick them up. It's the binder is Dominican, the filler is Nicaraguan and Dominican. It's Robusto size, so it's pretty tasty. It's ranked medium to full. It's right there. It's got a little spicy note. I've been into that and some of the stuff by the Rodriguez over in Key West, Florida, stuff like that. So I just been kind of knocking around, and then I'm gonna back that up by a Tatuaje Mexican experiment.
Nice.
I can't get off this
There you
stick.
go.
I don't know what
That's a good stick.
I
That's
really
a
love
good
this stick.
That's a good
So I'm kind of just been knocking that. That's
Yep.
kind of like my stick of the week.
Yep.
I always have like a stick of the week where
Yep.
I keep going back to, and this week it just happens to be that. So, that's what I've been up to.
Very good. Have you tried the El Pulpos yet? The AJ Fernandez El Pulpos?
No,
Really good stick. Here, take it.
no.
Here, you can have it.
All right, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really good line that came on AJ.
Now here we are handing each other sticks, and poor Jim is
Jim.
sitting all the way in California, going,
Hold on,
"Yeah,
hold on. It's like this. Oh yeah, thanks.
Yeah, right. Virtual handoff. But I'm just saying you the tobacco.
Yeah. Cool.
So what am I
Right.
smoking? Oh well, I'm glad you asked.
I know. I was distracted because I have a cigar, I have whiskey, and ADHD. So,
So to start off with, of course, it's a Davidoff Anniversario Short Perfecto. It's a great accompaniment to a cup of coffee in the morning. Since it is still morning here, and I won't be drinking alcohol today, it's a great starter. And then I'm going to go to a.
But hold on, I just want to go back. You hit the nail on the head. The Anniversario Short Perfecto from Davidoff has to be top 3 cigars to have with coffee in the morning.
Yeah,
Hands down.
Breakfast.
I agree.
Hands down. It is fabulous.
And then I'm going to move over to a Lampert Original Ocean Breeze.
Nice.
Very, very nice. And
I haven't had
then
a lot of the Lampert stuff, and I've seen those too.
They're good sticks.
Yeah.
I'm going to shift over to a Drew Estate Miami.
I haven't had that one yet either. If I did, it was. When did those come out? The Miami ones.
The Drew
21, I
Estate
think.
ones,
Top of my head.
like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Oh, so I'm smoking. Hey, Jim, thanks for asking. I'm smoking in Arturo Fuente 858 Rosado.
Ooh.
I happened to score some of these.
Nice.
A shout out to Jana at the Humidor. And I had some of these kicking around that I probably had, like the 5 or 8 kicking around in my humidor. Like every once in a while I would go in and smoke them because I don't think you should age these for all that long. So I was going there and smoking them. I'm like, man, I had like 3 left or 4 left or whatever. I'm like, I don't want to smoke them. And then I just got lucky, right place, right time. And I picked up a whole box.
Nice.
So
now you have stash.
this is the first one from that box. This, Rosado wrapper is super rare. In fact, I smoked a cigar this week that also had that wrapper that I'll talk about in a little while. But these are awesome. These are awesome with coffee. These are awesome with whiskey. It's just got a great medium body. It's very, we use that term Cubanesque, I think, to describe those medium bodied, medium strength cigars that have a lot of flavor.
Yeah.
So this one has more of a cedar kind of a aroma to it, and more so than that the CAO, right, did not have like that cedar. This is a very different
Right.
profile, but these are awesome, super rare. If you can get your hands on one, don't pay too much, don't overpay. These MSRP on these are like $10.60, I think was what the price tag was on the box. So don't
So that
go
means
crazy paying
$35 in California.
Yeah, so in California, probably at $35, right? So don't pay more than MSRP wherever that is, happens to be where you live, based on taxes, right? That's why your cigars are so much more expensive, right, Jim?
Correct.
Goes good with a mojito in the middle
Yeah.
of Casa Fuente, FYI.
We need to get mojitos.
That brings up a good question, Paul. How do you pair a cigar with a whiskey?
So I take a really big ice cube, and then I pour whiskey into a glass where the ice cube is. And this whiskey this is my favorite. This is the Elijah Craig that has been decanted with the stave for any given number of days, right? I try and let it chill out for 24 hours before I break it. I give that stave at least 24 hours, preferably 48 before you break into it. And I've tried this with several different whiskeys, and Elijah Craig happens to be the same. With whiskey, I try and go like medium bodied to all the way up to full, right? I try not to pair usually I don't pair Connecticut's with whiskey or your lighter cigars. Lighter cigars, I find pair very well with beer. Now, not all beers, but like a lighter in color, lighter in bodied beer,
Yep.
I think pairs very well with a lighter that your Davidoff that you're smoking right now, Jim, right? Like a really light IPA or Pilsner or lager would go really well with that
See,
cigar.
I like coffee drinks, like coffee martini.
Yes,
something along
coffee
those-
martini would be
Right.
great. But
Ooh.
Jim asked specifically.
Sure, sure,
now
sure,
we're getting
sure.
off
Yeah,
track.
no, I know.
Yeah, you come back and now you sidetrack it. I'm
Listen,
just kidding.
you
I'm
brought
just
it to
kidding.
coffee. You brought it to
I'm
coffee.
kidding. So that's how I do the pairings, Jim. Again, medium to full with the whiskey. That's how I would do it.
Yeah.
I guess we can get into nuances there.
There are, right? So
Yeah.
for me, usually I'll do a medium body cigar with a more peaty whiskey, like a peaty scotch. I kind of do the opposite, right? And if I have a stronger cigar, like a spicier cigar, I go lighter on the whiskey.
Right.
I kind of do the opposite side of you know what I mean?
Sure.
Well, because I don't want that double hard flavor, like the strong flavor on both sides. So I almost look for the balance. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm just making audio adjustments, so talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
does make
I
sense.
try and not purposely pair a cigar with what I'm drinking. I know that's counterintuitive, but I want to taste those two different things. One may overpower the other for a moment, but I still get back that taste. So if I pair, let's say, an ocean breeze, a Lampert, something very light, with 120 proof plus bourbon, yes, that bourbon is going to be a little overpowering to the cigar, but just for a moment or two,
Yeah.
right? I don't add ice cubes to my.
I know you're not a cube guy.
No, I'm not a cube guy unless it's a cocktail. Unless we're adding Mountain Dew, then I'm fine with it. Then it's okay. But I like the experiment. You guys mentioned a really heavy peat scotch. I love doing the same thing. I love doing the counterintuitive thing, because
I think
sometimes
that's
you
just where
wind
I
up with a
naturally
great
go,
pairing.
Jim. like I naturally go because I look at it, I'm like, ooh, that's a strong cigar. Do I
Right.
really want a strong peaty whiskey? Yeah, probably not. Like it's just natural to me, where I won't like my brain won't go to that section of where I have my whiskey. I'll go move over a little bit, to the whiskeys that aren't as strong. So yeah, I think it's my palate and preference, But I love the fact that you experiment. So maybe one day I will try that and just be like, you want to know what? Let me get out of my comfort zone and do a really, really peppery cigar with a peaty whiskey and see what happens.
Yeah, you do. You have to experience the pairings because you never know until you try it. And
Right.
it's funny. CAO actually had sent us a bunch of cigars and beer. I believe it came as one package, and they shipped us cigars and beer. How they pulled that off, I don't know.
What?
Nice.
Yeah, and if they're gonna get in trouble for that, it wasn't CAO when we bought the
It
beer.
wasn't
Because I don't want them to get in trouble. Because
It was
but what they-
FAO.
yeah, so
Yeah.
we'll just say I bought the beers, and they said
Yes,
you got to pair this cigar with this beer, and I was like, I don't know, and that's how I figured out that the lighter Connecticut's went really well with the lighter beers. I would have never tried that until they suggested it. So
Drew Estate did a barbecue book for summer that was themed as well, and it appeared there, and it gave
Really?
it gave you a layout. Like if you're having this steak, here's the Drew cigar that'll go with this, and by the way, these are our beverage selections, and they even did like alcoholic, non-alcoholic.
No kidding.
I think Camacho did one back in 2019 as well. So
Do you know what I'm super excited for?
what's that?
I bought tickets to Bond Smoker
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah,
in
yeah,
August.
yeah.
So I bought a VIP ticket to go to Barn Smoker.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's gonna
where's
be cool.
Barn Smoker?
In
Connecticut.
Connecticut. It's on
Oh,
the
okay.
tobacco fields of Connecticut.
Nice.
And it's Drew Estate. And they bring you in.
Oh
and-
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
they take you through the fields and you get a bunch of swag, a bunch of sticks.
Do you want to use my fanny pack for your cigars? I have one.
Do you?
Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah.
If you can wear your satchel, because that's the crew.
It's
That's what they do, dude.
They wear satchels?
They have the whole
Really?
ensemble, dude. Whole ensemble. You know,
I'll have to get me a satchel.
you already got the flat brim hat, so you're good. You know, you'll fit in. It's supposedly it's a super cool time.
That's what I've heard. So
Yeah.
I went and I invested in that.
And you learn a lot too, because they take you through the fields,
Right,
And they do like little seminars and stuff like that too. So it breaks it down, so you can kind of like nerd out on like tobacco process and stuff.
awesome.
Yeah.
I'm super excited. Have you ever been?
And do you get your own satchel afterwards?
Oh yeah. Well, Drew Estate they sent satchels at one time. I think
Yeah,
I have a
Did
Drew
they?
Estate
Maybe.
satchel.
I heard you get a lot of swag, like a ton of
Oh yeah,
swag.
totally. Oh yeah, Drew Estate and Alec Bradley were like the best swag companies for decades.
Oh god, yeah.
We have an ashtray with a stand. I saved it.
Oh yeah.
I saved
Really?
it because the downstairs is closing as of like July 1st.
Yep.
So like whatever was downstairs, we got about 1,000 square feet downstairs. So Larry and I came in last Saturday
Did clean up.
and we did some cleanup, and I found we were gonna do Stogie Geeks downstairs in the downstairs set. But then, pandemic hit and
Yep.
no one was doing in-person stuff.
Right.
And that kind of killed that whole thing. So now we have the upstairs unit that we're renting. I'll spare you all the details, but this is what we're going to call the Hacker Syndicate Studios, where we're going to do Stogie Geeks in a bunch of other things,
Nice.
podcast live streams, right? So when I was down there cleaning out the old Stogie Geek set, I retrieved a couple of items. There's, back there's the LFD beer stein that came filled with cigars. Those cigars were awesome. I don't think I have. I think I smoked every single one of those because they were so awesome. I actually stored those in the humidor that I have next door to the cigar lounge, and I found them, and then we just smoked every single one of them. But I also found the red stand. It's over there somewhere in the darkness on the other side. But there's the red stand that came with an ashtray, and the ashtray's got to be. It's got to be around here somewhere. Now after the show, remind me because I want to find it. I want to make sure we have it. And there's an ashtray that sits on this like massive stand.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to try and work that in. I haven't worked in some things into the set. Like behind you guys also, I was at a salvage yard last week with my son because my son's into welding. And so
Which is so awesome.
yeah,
by the
it's
way.
awesome. And
I've seen some of the videos. So awesome.
you know the scrap yard, it looks like it's a big scorpion on Route 3
yes.
in Exeter.
Exeter. Yeah.
That's
Yep.
scrap yard.
Yep.
And so I went in there and I saw a payphone receptacle, and I took a picture of it. And then the lady starts yelling at me like, "Don't take pictures of it and post them on social media." And then she said something, and I didn't know what. Yeah, I couldn't hear what she said after that. She might have said because people come back and steal it. Perhaps would be the reasoning behind that, which obviously she's speaking from experience. So I was like, you know what? I was thinking about buying it, but I'm just going to buy it now. So I bought
Nice.
I bought a payphone receptacle. It's over there in the dark, again in the darkness on the other side. And so we're going to put a payphone receptacle, and then we may even try and get an actual payphone to go in it.
Nice.
So, yeah,
Very cool.
Homage to our hacking roots.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I broke down and I got the spray paint can lighter.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, did you
guys
buy
had
one?
here? Yeah, I
Yeah, we
bought
have
one.
one here. Yeah.
Yeah, there's one floating around if you dig around here.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, I'm still digging my AliExpress lighter
Yeah.
that I got for like.
Oh yeah. What about your phone?
I haven't gone back to the phone. I included it in my webcast this week. I have a small Android purple phone. And now that I've done my Bus Pirate blog post, so if you're into hardware hacking, so if you're listening to the show, you're probably into cigars. But if you're also into hardware hacking, go check out eclipsium.com. The blog, I wrote up a whole thing on the Bus Pirate 5. And that took a long time. I was pulling spy flash. There's actually a motherboard behind me that's old, that's a set decoration, and had a spy flash chip on a dip connector. And a dip
Whoa.
connector just raises it up off the motherboard.
Yeah.
You can just pull it out with your fingers. And I was like, ooh,
I need
spy
this.
flash chip. I need that. So I yanked it. So I finished that. Then after that, I'm going to, now hopefully on the short list is for me to do some more Android stuff with those. I bought a couple of phones from AliExpress. But
So are you going to test whether or not it can be used to smuggle into a jail or not?
no. I know where you're going with that, and I am not going to test that.
Where are you gonna hide it?
Yeah, not going there. Not doing that. Any volunteers?
Negative.
No.
Negative Ghost Rider.
Yes.
So here's a question. This is something I want to bring up. Father's Day is coming up soon,
Yes.
and my wife has been asking.
Don't
me,
order from AliExpress
What do you-
because they'll never come in time. Not
Never
coming in time.
But in the cigar world, my wife has been asking me, "What do you want for Father's Day? I don't want to buy you crap. I don't want to buy you garbage. I want to buy you things you actually want."
Cigars.
Cigar.
To
So
smoke.
I was gonna say, what's your top 5 that you
Box
would
of-
want?
Box of Davidoff, box of
of
Padron,
cigars?
right? Padron Anniversary Series, something special. I usually ask my wife for a box of Davidoff.
Do you?
Cigars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. Any like, I don't know, lighters, cutters, anything like that you guys would be looking at? You know what raised my eyebrow was I started searching for really good Father's Day gifts, and I found an ST DuPont lighter where they did a collab with this guy Frank Muller, who is a watch designer, and the lighter is $65,000. $65,000. It's absolutely insane. But it's called the Master Lighter, and it was built again by this master watchmaker and ST DuPont. It's got a clear window on each side, and the watches. It's got actually watch integrated into the lighter, and the hands are on both sides of the lighter, which is kind of cool. But I don't know if it's worth 65.
And I would probably lose it within the first week of owning
Exactly
it.
it, right? I would leave it behind somewhere. Is what I would do.
So I've got the exact opposite lighter.
Do you?
Exact opposite. I put the link in the live streaming chat on YouTube, and I'll put it in the show notes as well for this episode in the blog post. And it comes from AliExpress. It's advertised as a kitchen barbecue cigar, big jet flame, fire torch, outdoor, powerful flame camping gun lighter, man's tools without butane gas.
Woo!
That's the title. If that's not the most AliExpress title ever, I don't know what is.
What? Oh my god, that's great.
Right now I'm looking at it, and the price says it's $5.33. So
Right.
when I ordered mine, because there's different colors and options, I think I did a different one, and it ended up being $6.90, and then plus shipping, it was $15.04. So I probably should have looked into the shipping, or ordered more than one, sometimes you can kind of score a discount on shipping.
I mean, you should have ordered at least 3 for us.
Right.
Well, this says 5+ pieces, you get an extra 15% off. So
Well,
that can help offset some of the
the shipping
cost of
costs.
shipping. Yeah.
Now we can go straight down the middle, and Elon Musk and SpaceX actually built a lighter.
Oh, Jim has it.
Jim has one.
No way.
we
Yeah,
have
Jim,
You have it?
He sure
Get outta here.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
like $300. That's like
Yeah.
middle of the road between
has a phone.
65K
Yeah,
and $5.
I don't even know
Right.
where I put it. See?
Yeah.
Now it's already all gone. Oh, here
This
it
is why you
He
should
already
not
lost
own
it.
a
He already
60.
lost
yeah,
it.
You should not own a $65,000 lighter. You would lose it for sure.
Oh, that's big.
And how do you lose that?
Wow.
Yeah.
So do you like it, Jim? Or
I
is it,
do.
Is it a showpiece?
No, it's actually a very good lighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you ask my wife that, she would say I'm just a showpiece.
So is that what MSRP was? $300? About $300?
It was a gift.
Oh,
This one was a gift.
Gotcha.
We got a few of them as gifts.
oh, nice. Very nice.
So anyway, back to my AliExpress,
Mm-hmm.
$5.33 plus shipping. It's an awesome lighter. I actually bought it for my oldest son, who's doing welding, and like he would steal my cigar lighters and heat stuff up with it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, stop doing that. I'm gonna order you a cheap one from AliExpress. And it came in, and it was too nice to give to him, so I gave him one of my old ones, and I kept this one on my desk. I'm like, this lighter is friggin' awesome.
I love it.
It
I
holds
love it.
fluid great. It's got good. What would you call that? Efficiency with
Yep.
with butane. Like it doesn't.
Yep.
You don't have to fill it every single day. And there's bunches of different colors. They've got carbon fiber, and they all kind of vary slightly in price.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, now that I'm clicking through, not by much. They all start out at around. They're about $6 each, plus shipping. And like I said, Father said, like this says now estimated delivery on August 9th. Like it took a while to come in
Yeah,
because it's shipping directly from China.
Well, you can do it like my wife does every once in a while. Print it out and put it in a card and say, "This is coming
Yeah,
for you."
right, right,
You can do that.
yeah.
One of the
And
oth-
apparently, I have 8 other things in my cart, which also include some other lighters. So what I'll do is I'll order that stuff. It'll come in, then I'll give you my review on it, and if it's good, I'll put the link in the show notes, and I'll try and keep doing that.
Yeah.
On the show because I think it's a lot of fun. And I'm usually putting together some kind of AliExpress order for electronics and cigar stuff. So
Well, I put the link to the $65,000.
So who gets
in the
more
chat, too, so-
packages at your house, Paul? You or your wife?
who opens them?
No, who gets more packages delivered? You or your wife?
It varies. I don't know. The wives get stuff from Amazon.
Oh my
like,
God, all day
is
long.
that so? That's like
100% true. So
that's
so,
not just a trope on
no,
like TikTok or
the-
whatever,
the,
right?
The running conversation in my house is, you can talk to me, honey, as soon as my cigar deliveries are more than your Amazon deliveries.
Right,
Until then, hands off.
right.
And I haven't exceeded those yet because literally every single day, Amazon or FedEx is dropping something off.
Now, do your kids open those?
No, if it's got my name or my wife's name on it, my kids don't open.
Yeah, I try and enforce that rule.
Yeah,
and my
that
oldest
doesn't
one
happen.
is
They
because
get, they get put on the dining room table.
what I got to start doing is
bring
when
it
it's something for my son, put his name on
Mm-hmm.
it, so that he can open. Because he's always he does woodworking and
yeah.
welding, and he doesn't have a credit card. I need to
Right.
get him. There's ways to get kids a credit
They
card.
do.
Yeah,
There's
they
Venmo
have
cards. You can
right.
give them Venmo
Yeah.
cards.
I need to do that so he can order his own
Exactly.
stuff because he's always like, I need this, sanding discs
Yep.
and
Yep,
all
yep.
kinds of stuff like that. So
Yeah. Yeah,
which
I'm
I redid my Blackstone
Mm-hmm.
at home. It sat there for a year or two and I hadn't used it.
Yep.
And my wife's like, we should keep it because I was going to get rid of it because I'm like, I don't use it because I have a million. I have too many
I know
grills.
you do.
You've seen the grills. I
Yeah,
have too
totally,
many.
100%.
But we moved it up top, and we've been cooking with it.
Yeah.
So, and when I reseasoned it, I was like, I need to get rust off of metal. And I went to my oldest, and he was like, "Oh, I
Gotcha.
got you, Dad.
I gotcha.
You need this, and you need that." I had this awesome grind. I forget what he called it, a cup wire wheel that mounts on the grinding wheel. If you need to redo your Blackstone, this is the tool that you want to use. It made quick work of that.
Yeah.
And then I just use an orbital sander kind of thing
Sure.
to smooth it out. And
Yeah.
dude, it's awesome.
I almost don't use my grill anymore because I
use the
I use the
Blackstone.
Blackstone all the time. You know what?
Yeah,
got
I
from
use my
that-
Blackstone every single weekend.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
You know what I got for the Blackstone? You know how they have the pan on the little pan on the back to collect all
Yeah.
the
Oh, you did the bucket thing?
I did the bucket thing. I just ordered it.
Wait. You did a bucket?
Yeah, so
Oh,
they
yeah,
have
yeah.
a connector for the back that it connects in where the pan would go, and it has
Uh-huh.
a tube that goes down to a bucket.
And people DIY this all the time.
Yeah. There's an Amazon.
Did you
link.
order
It's
a kit? You
yeah,
ordered
it's
a
a
kit,
kit on
yeah.
Amazon. I'll put the link
How
in the
much
chat.
was
so
the
you can-
How much was the kit? Like
30
20,
bucks,
30 bucks,
maybe
yeah.
25, 30 bucks. But I mean, it's a big bucket at the bottom, so now you don't have to clean
Right.
that little pan every time. You know.
And then when the bucket's full, do
Yeah.
you empty it or you
There's
just buy a new
there's
bucket?
an aluminum insert.
Oh, okay.
There's an aluminum insert that you just get rid of the aluminum insert.
No, that's nice.
Yeah,
Because if I
yeah.
had a bucket that was filled with sludge from the Blackstone and it was what, like a 5-gallon bucket?
Yeah, it's not that big.
Oh.
No. I mean, it's I don't know.
When that filled up, I'd be like, I'm just buying
Maybe
a new
half a
bucket.
gallon. It's probably half a gallon.
Yeah.
So shouldn't they just make like a tube that goes into a hole in the ground?
Well, it could. I could take the bucket off and pipe it into the ground.
Could. You have to have a spot to do it that wouldn't
Right.
smell or.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know how you do
Exactly.
that. I don't
Yeah,
know
I
if you
don't
want
know
that. You want
And
you want the
you-
liner.
You
The
get
liner.
you get bugs and animals probably trying to dig
Oh
it
yeah,
up too.
yeah.
Yeah.
You definitely want it in the line. That's the best way to do it. And then you just throw it out and put a new liner in.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll put the link in there. But totally worth the investment.
It reminds me of doing oil changes as a teenager with my father, and what we would do with the oil.
Oh,
It-
I bet.
there was a special hole in the backyard that you would dump the oil into.
Yeah, and that was you in every garage in every municipal
Yes.
department. I mean, about a mile away from my house, there was an old municipal building that got knocked down, and they were going to try to resell the land.
And they
when
couldn't.
they did all the tests, they couldn't because they used to dump all the oil because it was a mechanic shop.
Right.
They used to dump all the oil into the ground, so they couldn't sell it.
No, that happens a lot of people that had a family business or a
Yeah,
town that owned a building, and the land is so contaminated that when they do the testing on the soil, they're
can't
like,
sell it.
you could, but then you have to treat the land,
Right.
which sometimes would cost more than what you would sell the land for.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is. Ills of the past.
I have a question for you guys. Do you have any cybersecurity folks that are into cigars that live in Minneapolis? And the reason why I'm asking is because beginning May 1st, they put a ban on smoke shops
Yes.
where you can only smoke for 15-minute time limit.
What?
Yes.
What?
And then from there, and the town council passed it because it's called "quote unquote" sampling. I will
Right.
put that link in there as well. Oh, that's in
Look
there
what
too.
I pulled for an hour. No, that was me.
Yeah.
I pulled that to talk about today.
Oh yeah,
Same-
I
same
wanted to
page,
talk
brother,
about
same
it.
page.
I wanted to talk about it last. It's on my show notes from last episode,
Yep,
but we didn't go to script or
So
anything.
you can only
So not much changed.
It was
on
a
that.
test run.
wait. So let me understand this. You can only smoke for 15 minutes, or
Yes,
you can
sir.
only
Yes.
be inside the lounge for 15 minutes.
You-
Smoke for 15.
Smoke for 15 minutes. It's called "quote unquote" sampling, according to law. I posted it. Cigar Aficionado posted it. I am very shocked that I use this in quotes, media podcast world is not even
Up in arms.
even giving this a bat of an eye.
I know.
So here, how it's written, I did post it in the chat. You can go to the shop, you can purchase it. Obviously, you can get some more for cash and carry, and you have a 15-minute time limit to sample. And then, if that cigar is still lit, you have to go. So you can't put it out because we all know that if you don't smoke it through, usually after 30 minutes, that's my number. It kind of gets skunked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know some people like cut the grass, light up a cigar, cut the grass, let it sit in the sun for like 4 hours, and then relight it. You know what I mean? But I'm certainly not one of those people. But yeah, I'm wondering if 15 minutes is like a El Capone or anything in tins or anything. I mean, even if you were to buy a 5-pack of Davidoff tins, it's gonna last you more than 15 minutes. You know, so
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, some of the legislation coming out, just to kind of keep with the theme. Did you see what happened in I think it was Brookline, Massachusetts?
oh yeah,
The
yep,
generational tobacco ban,
yep.
where if you were born after the year 2000, it's illegal for you to buy tobacco.
Yep.
Illegal.
And they did it in New Zealand as well,
Oh, yeah.
successfully.
But they rolled it back. I just got the article that they're rolling it back in New Zealand.
Oh,
Because,
yeah.
because their political climate shifted, so now they're going to plan to roll it back. But in Brookline, Massachusetts, they're saying other communities are going to start doing the same thing around Brookline. That generational, it's going to be a generational thing where if you were born after a certain date, it's illegal for you to buy tobacco products, including premium cigars.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
We talked about it with the New Zealand thing.
Yeah, we talked about it on another show, but Brookline doubled down on it.
But that's just Brookline. How big is Brookline, Massachusetts?
It
I
has
think it's like
60,000 people.
Yeah, 60. It's by
60,000
populace.
people.
Yeah.
So you just go to the next town over and buy cigars?
But what they're saying is it's going to start propagating town over town over town now, because all of the surrounding communities are starting to put that legislation, same kind of legislation, in front of their local councils.
That's nuts.
Right? So
That
think
is
about it. If it starts propagating, now you could have to go drive an hour to go buy a cigar.
Or more, depending
more,
on where
or
you
more
are.
where you
'cause
are, yeah.
Mass goes
Right.
very far west. I mean,
Yep.
in
About 3 hours.
yes,
Yeah, by car.
exactly. Yeah, by
Yeah.
time wise, but
Yeah.
Yep.
you get out into the Berkshires, there's like nothing out there but like woods
So,
and mountains.
so there's something similar that they tried to pass last year in California that said if you're born after 2006, you can never buy tobacco products ever in your lifetime in
Yeah.
California.
Yeah, that's exactly the same. Like lifetime.
But at the last moment, it got shelved. But it did pass the state assembly.
Wow. So it just shows you some of the legislation that's going out there, and how they're treating premium cigars just like any other product, like cigarettes and vapes and those type of things, and they're just getting all lumped in.
Which is
I don't
think is
understand
wrong.
that. Like, but make the minimum age 18, 21, whatever. I don't understand if you're born after 2000, it doesn't matter, right? Because like my nephew loves cigars.
Yep.
And he's 21.
Right.
And so like why can't he? I don't get it. Why can't he go to the store and buy cigars?
Agreed. It's
It's the wrong way to. Again,
is,
we
it
get
is.
this
I mean-
feel good legislation like, oh, we passed a law.
How do you ban anything based on your generation, though? I would think
That's-
there's constitutional law that would protect us from those type of things.
I mean, they're not supposed to buy vapes, but if you go into any middle school or high school,
Oh, yeah.
Right.
they're huge. They're
They're
there.
everywhere.
Right.
Right.
I'm sure if we had a constitutional attorney, they could challenge this.
Hmm.
If somebody really wanted to pick this up and challenge it, because you're literally pinpointing a generation of people now. Constitutionally, I don't think that's right.
Well, that's
Yeah, I think you're right. I think there is something like you're not allowed. You can't. You can't. The
Discriminate.
law has to be
against-
generalized. It can't
Yes.
focus on one sect of people.
Right, and that's
Well,
a
yeah.
discrimination against anybody
Right.
born after
'Cause
the year
didn't-
2000.
Rhode Island got in that trouble with the traffic cameras.
Oh yeah, because
Which
they
you
were
can't just
singling
enforce.
out.
That's
You
right.
can't enforce something just on trucks.
right.
You have to enforce it on all traffic.
Yeah, so the law was for any commercial trucks, like 18-wheelers, those type of things. They were the only ones who'd have to pay tolls. And then the Trucking Association fought it and said, no, you're discriminating against truckers and the trucking industry. Either do it for everyone, right, or do it for no one.
Right.
And they won. They beat that out. So this is similar, where you're discriminating against a generation.
I think it speaks to liberty, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that fall under liberty?
Individual freedom, liberty.
Well, it's the same thing. I mean, you used to be able to buy cigars or tobacco at 18. That's when you went to war if you enlisted, or that's when you went into combat. And then now you're 21. So now now if you walk into a cigar shop in Rhode Island, Massachusetts, it's got to be 21, and it's like,
Which is crazy.
wait a minute, you just came back from a deployment,
Dude, I was talking to a fellow Marine.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh yeah, I was in Fallujah and Ramadi. And I'm like, why does that sound familiar? I'm like, dude, there was like a book or a movie, right? And then I thought about it this morning. It was like in the car ride home, like my wife and son were in there. I'm like, no, it was Extreme Ownership by Jocko.
Oh yeah,
That chronicled the Navy SEAL teams in Ramadi, which was in modern history. I forget how they measured it, but it was like the most combat intensive battle, bullets flown, lives lost,
yeah.
injured.
Ton of close quarter combat.
It was close quarter combat. It
Yeah.
was banging. He's like, I was banging down
Kicking
doors.
down doors.
I'm like,
yeah, 100%.
no, dude, there's a
Yeah,
story that,
yeah.
and then I was like, oh, that actually shaped a lot of my lessons in leadership,
Yep.
running a business, was
Yeah.
actually from that book,
Yeah.
but also insights as to what the troops went through that were stationed in that area, which was absolutely frightening.
Right.
I'm like, dude, you're lucky to be standing here
Seriously,
next to me
100%.
right now. Yeah.
Now tell that 19, 20-year-old you can't buy a cigar.
Yeah, you can go have bullets. Like
I mean,
if
come
you
on,
were
are
in
serious?
if you were in Ramadi, the way I understand it, like you were in active combat. Like
100%.
there was you were being shot at. You were going to be shot at. You were
Absolutely.
actually being shot at.
Being
like
shot
you
at.
if you left the building, they have Jocko tells a story like
Yeah.
if you left the building, he's like there was bullets whizzing past. Crazy.
Not to mention, IEDs all over the
Oh,
place. planted,
absolutely. Yep.
right? So yeah, insane. But
It just made me think of that with the
Yeah,
you can't go have a cigar, but you can
you
go
can go take a bullet for your country.
right.
Insane.
It's-
I mean, that's been my
I know it's
story from way back. So
But also, on a more positive note, if you go read Jocko's book, it's highly, highly recommended. It's one of the best, I think, leadership. It's where I read the book years ago, and I take back the total ownership,
Yep.
right? Like if you're in a leadership position, doesn't matter what
Yeah.
happened, you got to own it
Own it.
100%. And the other lesson was prioritize and execute.
Exactly.
Like the only way you got through those stressful situations is, and even to this day, when there's a lot of stuff going on, and again, I'm not on a battlefield, but taking those lessons from when your life is at risk in the highest pressure situations and the most danger and translating that to, well, now I'm in a business situation, like there's the stress of certain kind of conflict. I'm like, relax, prioritize, and execute. What would I do? What would I
execute
do?
the plan, though. Right?
Yes.
That's a big deal.
We gotta
too,
have a
is-
plan.
It's planning, right? You got to be able to execute the plan.
Right.
In order to execute the plan, you have to practice the plan.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Yeah. So I don't know how we relate that to cigars. Like if you're running low on distilled water or cigars, like you got to have a plan and you got to prioritize and execute to make sure you have a good supply of cigars.
I always find that having a nice cigar and a nice glass of bourbon helps me plan and prioritize at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yep.
And Jocko is right. Everything can be solved by planning and prioritizing.
Yep.
Everything.
Agreed. Yep. Sometimes you just have to take a step back and
Right.
do the plan, right? Build out that plan, and that's your downtime, right? You grab a nice cigar, you grab some bourbon or whiskey, and you sit down and you just kind of sit back and think about things, and take a step back from everything and bring it into perspective, and then start building out that plan in your head, right? Those are some of the best planning times ever. Some of the best planning times I've had.
I didn't have a plan for if LinkedIn didn't work. I'll be perfectly honest with you.
Well, no,
I made up one on the fly, and I put it out to Twitter,
Yeah.
and I made a post on LinkedIn that linked to our YouTube live stream. So, and we'll continue to figure it
That was
out.
contingency
So, like, if you're listening to the show, again, every other Friday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern time is when we do the show, and so I'll get better at advertising and bludgeoning LinkedIn to work. So we're going to try and
That's it.
have some streaming outlets, but YouTube seems to be more reliable right now.
Yep.
So where's your top 3 places to plan and prioritize?
The cigar lounge,
Okay.
because it's also a social setting as well.
Right.
When you go to the cigar lounge, and it's oftentimes like, I feel like you could pay a professional to talk to, or you could just have a membership to a cigar lounge or two, and you can sit around
Yep.
and you listen to other people, and then you share and you talk with people. And so I think for prioritizing and planning, it certainly, I think, gets together people from various backgrounds that you have this commonality with cigars, and you can always start up a conversation about cigars, and then it usually goes into something else.
Yeah, I have to.
It's hard to replicate in life. I had dinner with Todd, our friend Todd, last
nice.
night.
Oh, did
yeah.
you? Nice.
Yeah,
Very
so we were
cool.
comparing notes, but that very well could have been a cigar lounge conversation. But we took the kids out to dinner, so
Yeah, see, for me, there's 2 different types, right? There's the prioritizing and planning that is solo. It's me. I need to prioritize what's happening in my life, my workload, my strategies, for me to be successful. But then there's also the collaborative side, right? So for me, it's honestly sitting with a fishing pole and a cigar and a drink, and maybe my son's there with me. But
Fishing is good.
Fishing is great.
Fishing's
right?
good place too.
It allows me to have that kind of solitude a little bit, quiet, and just be able to think through things, But when it's with people, when it's a collaborative thing.
Also, you have cigars while you're fishing too. Are you
100%
noticing a theme
have
here,
to.
Jim?
Have to. No doubt about it. But a collaborative, not everybody is always going to be a cigar smoker, right?
Right.
So in a lot, God, that thing
He's
sounds
got
awesome. That thing sounds awesome, Jim.
It sounds like a SpaceX rocket taking
I
off.
love that. Sorry, I didn't mean to totally
No, it's great.
go, hey, look, a squirrel, but that thing sounds awesome. But there's the collaborative side, right? So there it's over a drink or over some food. And if we end up at a cigar bar later, sweet, very cool, right? But it's disconnecting yourself from the work.
Yes.
And getting out of that environment. That's the key, I think, to a lot of it is disconnecting from the environment and getting somewhere where you can not just be on in the work side of the aisle, where you can have conversations about other things. So food, drink, and then all of a
You
sudden...
have to be. I agree with Jason, Jim, to your question too. If I had to add to that list, it would be when I'm on vacation or when I'm traveling on an airplane. Because I'm very much disconnected from the work and I can think clearly. And I've got notes and on planning stuff on like random things that I pulled out of my bag. Like one was like an old CD sleeve or something that happened to be in my bag, and I got like a bunch of notes on that. Now I try and travel with some kind of notebook, knowing that like when I'm on vacation and I'm unplugged and I decompress for a day, oftentimes I can think more clearly, and I'm like, oh, this is how I get more cigars.
Yeah.
As an example.
Yeah. I mean, my notebook is literally this. I'll email myself. I'll just shoot myself an email of notes or shoot myself a Teams message of notes, right? But perfect example is last Wednesday, my family jumped in the Suburban. We drove 10 hours to Williamsburg, Virginia, because my son had a soccer tournament, a Memorial Day soccer tournament.
Oh, so that was where it was, Virginia.
Yes, Williamsburg, Virginia. Invitational soccer tournament. And we were in this historic district that had like townhouses, and the entire team was there.
What does he play? What U level is he playing at?
He's at 2011 is his age group, so he's playing U13.
Okay.
And he plays for the University of Rhode Island's premier team.
Yep.
But the folks
FC Rams, right?
FC Rams, Rams FC. Yep. So the people that were there, the parents, a lot of professionals. There was the head of URI Soccer Association that was there, right? And just sitting around at the pool while the kids were swimming in between games or after the games, having good conversation with other professionals who are not in your industry.
Right.
Let me tell you, does that spawn the juices? It gets the juices flowing, right? So it's getting out of that environment.
Did you have cigars?
I did bring cigars. Not everybody smokes cigars, right? So, but I did bring cigars, and in
West Virginia, you can smoke cigars.
Virginia, just regular.
It's regular Virginia. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's not bad down there. But it gets the juices flowing. Asking someone who runs the University of Rhode Island soccer program a business question.
Yes.
How would you handle this, right? How would you deal with something like this? And just being able to get that conversation back and forth, it gets you out of your kind of myopic environment. Right. And it just broadens the horizons. That's the stuff I love, and I shoot myself out an email with some notes or some things that I want to remember. And it just gets your head in the game, gets you back in the game, stimulated again.
What about you, Jim? Where do you go to plot to take over the world?
The cigar lounge. That's number one.
Yep. Number one. Agreed.
Number one. Second place is, I live on kind of a mini farm. So just go down and hang out with the horses.
Beautiful.
With a cigar by myself. And talk to the animals.
I love it. That's great. I whisper to the fish when I have a fishing pole in my hand. Here, fishy.
And sometimes your greatest
you say
idea,
Hail Mary too. Is that from The Godfather? It's The Godfather. You say Hail Mary.
Sometimes your greatest ideas come at the weirdest places. In the shower, in the bathroom, on the plane at 30,000 feet.
Yep.
You go, oh, that's a great idea.
Right. The epiphany moment.
So yeah, but I think number one for me is the cigar lounge, because I do get that wide range of people who come in who are not in cyber whatsoever. You know, you have a guy who owns a trucking company. You have someone who owns a import-export textile firm. You have someone who owns a dental outfit. You know, all varied backgrounds, and they have some great ideas and things that I never thought of before. You know, I've gotten a lot of good advice, I would say, in the past 2 years from being a member of 2 different cigar lounges.
And when they get ransomware, they'll call you now.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh, you know, it's one of those things. You know how it is. You walk into the place and it's, hey Jim, hey, or hey Paul, this came, and should I click on
Should I
it?
open
Should
it?
I do something with it?
Right. Is this legit? But no, to your point, Jim. I mean, it's the diversity of thought to get you out of the groupthink, right? Because groupthink can be your team, it can be your company, it can be your industry, right? And you start just kind of rolling with whatever the community is thinking to be able to suck yourself out of that and get diverse thought, I think is the key. I love that.
The power of the cigar lounge.
Yeah, buddy.
For sure. What has everyone been smoking?
Ton of Tatuaje. I mean,
Well, I have this lined up for later today.
Oh, is that the one I smoked last time on the show?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is
That's
that
later.
called again? I always get the name wrong.
This is the. Hold on, I need my glasses for this. It's the Anniversario #1.
It's an awesome cigar. But I smoked it last week, and just to like give you the quick rundown, like box worthy for sure. It's really expensive cigar.
Mm-hmm.
Although I would probably fight Chuck Norris for it. You know, we haven't gotten back to our rating system. The Stogie Geeks pioneered the rating system. Like up until we created the show in this rating system, everyone scored their cigars 0 to 100.
Okay.
And rarely would you ever see a cigar that got less than a 70. So it really ended up being like a 70 to 100 rating, but more so, what would you say, Joe? 80 to 100? Like,
well,
you've read a lot of those.
Published, it's 91 and
actually
up.
more like 80 to 95.
Yeah. It was hard.
Yeah.
So we were like, we're going to disrupt this whole thing.
Yeah.
I think it was Tim Muggerini and I, and then other folks kind of contributed to it. And so if you go on our website, actually, StogieGeeks.com.
Yeah, you had Angler.
Well, hold on. But there was a couple of really funny ones that we added that maybe aren't like official in the rating system. And so we had the worst rating. So I'll go from worst to best. We got the lawn mulch. And that's the cigar is so bad that while you're mowing the lawn, you throw the cigar in front of the lawnmower and mulch it up, and it helps I don't know if it's going to help the lawn grow. I don't want to pretend that I'm an expert in lawn care because I'm not. I hack my way through it. But then there was one time where Stogie Santa was talking on the show, and someone had given him a cigar, and he did not like it at all. And it was on a cruise ship in the area where you can smoke on the cruise ship. And he took the cigar and he hucked it over the side. So lawn mulch also has an alternative, and that's throw it over the side of the boat.
Fish food.
It's fish food, yeah. Then we've got the angler, which is while you're fishing, if you would smoke, because it's really hard to pay attention to the flavors in a cigar, especially if you're having a great fishing day.
Yeah, right.
And your hands smell like fish.
Right.
So that's the angler. Then we've got the 2.5, which is a try one. Then we've got a 5er. Then we've got a box split. Then we've got a box worthy. And so box worthy is not a 4. So this is basically a 5, 0 to 5, but we've got we call them floating points in our industry, decimals. For those of you who are not into computer programming, so we do the floating point thing. So we got 4 is a box worthy. 4.5 this is my favorite one. And I don't know how we came up with this. We were just drinking, and someone blurted it out. And I was like, look, it's not quite a 5. And a 5 is an oasis, right? This is like if you were stuck in the desert and you only had to bring one cigar with you.
It's that one.
It's an Oasis. So Oasis is the highest rating. A 4.5 is what we call a fight Chuck Norris for it. Cigar is so good that I would fight Chuck Norris for it. I mean, I'd probably lose, but I'd at least make an attempt. I mean, not even probably, because it's Chuck Norris. But I mean, Superman wears Chuck Norris pajamas, so there's that.
So you're saying you wouldn't fight Chuck Norris for an Oasis?
No, we would.
You would.
No, for an Oasis, I would. Yeah, in Oasis, I would fight Chuck Norris in the desert. Yes.
Okay.
If Chuck Norris and I were stuck on a desert island, I would fight him for this cigar. So if you wanted to combine a 4.5 and a 5, Jim, that's what it would look like.
So where do you put an acid?
Acids aren't. I mean, it depends on which one we're talking about. I just want to put that out there because some of the acids are not, excuse me, horrible. I think there are some that are probably lawn mulch, and your lawn's going to smell fantastic. Okay, you run that over with your lawnmower, the aroma is going to be amazing.
It's gonna be awesome.
It's going to be awesome. And most of the acids for me in the flavors that I like the Cuba Cuba, I find to be, and I haven't had one in a decade or more. But when I was like, I gotta at least try them, right? I can't say that I don't like them if I haven't tried it. So I tried a bunch of and the Cuba Cuba is not bad. So I would call that one an angler. And actually, while you're fishing, not a bad cigar to have because it has that. I don't want to say manufactured. It has, and I don't want to say artificial either, but it has a flavor infusion.
Yeah.
And so, like, while you're fishing, because of that flavor infusion, I don't have to pay attention as much because I'm gonna be able to recognize that flavor because it's been infused. It's an infused cigar.
Right.
Yeah, that's why
You're
I would
smoking a
consider it somewhere
blueberry.
between lawn mulch and fish food. Infused fish food.
Now,
I just don't dig it.
in terms of flavored cigars, though, I was talking about this with someone that I met because this is the thing I love about cigars. I went to a party, and I didn't know everyone there, right? And I brought cigars. And I got to know some new people because they're like, oh, I love cigars. I'm like, well, I have a couple cigars in my humidor. And they're like,
just a couple.
Just a couple. They're like, wait, what do you mean? I'm like, let's take a walk because it was right next door. And they're like, wow, I guess my cabinet's at home. And then so I made new friends with cigars. And that is a great, kind of social aspect of cigars is meeting new people. Oh, and then I got to talking to this person about infused cigars. And I like and I haven't had one of these in a long time as well, but I used to buy them next door, and it was the Nub Cafe. Nub Cafe.
I've had those.
Nub Cafe espresso or cappuccino. I can't remember which one. I think it was the cappuccino. Nub Cafe cappuccino. Great infused cigar. I find when your palate is tired, and so we used to do the security podcast, Paul Security Weekly, on Thursdays from like 6 to 8 or something like that. And then Stogie Geeks was immediately following, and then from whatever time. So then on Friday morning, having smoked cigars all day and all night, my palate's tired.
Sure.
And so I would light up the Nub Cafe espresso or cappuccino. I can't remember which one.
I can get down with those. Like,
Yeah.
because
it's coffee
in a great while.
Like I
Once in a
said, when
great
my
while.
palate's tired and I just want something that I can easily pick up the flavors on, that I'm pairing with a coffee in the morning, that's actually a really great. And I've tried a ton of infused cigars, and that would be the one if I had to.
Me too.
Gun to my head, you got to smoke a flavored cigar right now. It'd be one of those.
Agreed.
Have you
I've
tried a
never
lot of
really
it?
been
Have you
into the
tried
whole-
those, Jim? Have you tried a lot
I've
of
never really
infused?
been into infused cigars or flavored cigars. I don't know.
You
To
should
me,
try
it's-
them. Yeah, try them.
It's sort of like saying I'm going to mix my bourbon with some wine. It's kind of like what am I tasting here?
Well,
know.
is it? I
Now,
mean,
correct me if I'm wrong though. They're naturally infused though, right? It's not like some chemical they put in.
no. Well, with
Acid. I'm not talking about acid. I'm
acid
talking
is
about the
we've all.
cafe
I mean,
ones.
if you've been to a Drew Estate event,
Yeah.
they give you
Yeah.
information, right, about how they infuse the cigars, but they only tell you so much because it's. I mean, they could probably tell you like this is like the wood we use to put in the room, but like you're not going to be able to replicate that unless you have the entire process. Right. It's kind of like top secret information in the government and military. Oftentimes, it's not the data that was collected. It was the secret is how you got that data.
Yeah,
I think it's the same thing with Drew Estate's acid. It's not necessarily what flavors they're infusing because you can taste that and you can go, well, I could put this kind of wood or whatever in there, and it's the process is the real secret. So you should try them, Jim. I mean, don't go buy it in a box, right? But like pick up one and like go for a walk and smoke it, or like if you're fishing or doing some other activity, and see if you like it.
Right. Yeah.
It's funny because I have a box. Where did it go?
You're not very good at finding things today, Jim. I mean, you lost the world's most giant cigar lighter earlier.
I have this box here.
Oh, the Weller.
Cohiba?
The Wellers. Yeah.
Weller.
Oh, did they whiskey infused cigars?
Yeah.
I have a whiskey infused cigar, but you know what's funny is someone gave it to me so long ago that probably the infusion has worn off by now.
Yeah.
And I've only smoked one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it probably wasn't your favorite thing to smoke, considering you have a whole box and you've only smoked one.
Right. Yeah, I've tried bourbon infused cigars, rum infused cigars. I don't know. There's just something about it that just doesn't. I don't know. It just doesn't sit with me well.
Right. It's confusing.
Yeah, yeah, and it's a little strong for the cigar. Like I don't know. I didn't dig the bourbon one. The rum one. I almost feel like I'd have to let it rest for a long time to get a lot of that.
Yeah, so the infusion go yes.
Have it go away a little bit.
Correct.
So it's a lighter taste of the infused.
And
portion
don't
of
put
it.
those right next to
No.
non-infused cigars.
Right.
I think it's similar to I have a bunch of pipe tobacco, which we should do that again. I believe we did a pipe tobacco episode. We should. The three of us I know here in studio have pipes. Jim, have you tried the what's in your pipe that you've been smoking? Put that in your pipe and smoke it, Jim. You've tried the pipe, right?
So we are in California here. So
you can't have pipes in California.
You can't be born after the year 2000 and buy a pipe.
It's like some weird science fiction movie. If you're born over 2000 and you have a pipe, you get a tag of some kind, and they hunt you down.
Right. You're only allowed 3 puffs.
And they take you to the prison camp where you have to work for the state of California. And ironically, you'd work in the marijuana fields for the state of California.
Yeah,
I
right,
guess.
totally.
Yeah. But you've done the pipe tobacco thing, Jim?
yes. So long time ago, much before starting my cigar path, I smoked a lot of different loose leaf tobacco. And I went away from it for a few years, and I'm actually starting to come back to it because I actually like, which is funny. Now we're going back to infused flavors. I actually do enjoy the great flavored loose leaf tobacco in a pipe.
Yeah, agreed.
Why it's different? I don't know why or how
Right.
or what.
Totally
It's
different.
it's just totally different. Somehow more appealing
Right.
when the pipe tobacco is infused more so than a cigar.
Right.
I can't. I
mean,
couldn't
if you
give you
think-
a scientific. It pains me being a nerd and a hacker not to have like the scientific reason why, because I don't think you could come up with one. I think it's just a feeling. Like it's a better experience.
It's polar opposite, right? Like right now for my pipe tobacco, I have Irish cream and cherry Cavendish. Those are the two that I have right now. Which
Whoa.
if I brought that into the cigar world, I would say hell no, I don't want that. But it's really good in pipe tobacco.
I have one of the Drew Estate pipes.
Oh yeah, they begin with a T.
What are those called?
They begin with a T, TSU, something like that.
Something
Yeah,
like
something
that,
like
right?
that. Yeah, Drew. Yeah, they're metal, and you can clean them better.
Oh really?
Jim, I'm kind of into pipe tobacco.
You were smoking pipes quite a bit.
Oh yeah,
when you're here in the studio.
Yeah, I still do. I mean, I like pipe tobacco in the morning, before a cigar. I think because the bowl is like maybe 20 minutes. You kind of get going, and your palate's the freshest. But like if you smoke like non-flavored pipe tobacco and then smoke a cigar, I feel it opens up the palate because of the way it burns. So I actually start to taste the cigar differently. Like it's just different for me.
Does
So
it prep your palate, you think?
I don't know if it really preps it. To
Yeah.
me, the best way that I can describe it is how you have like an aerator for like wine. It kind of like aerates my palate, if you will, to open it up, and I can taste things kind of differently. So, yeah, I get on the pipe for sure.
Yeah, I have a white elephant pipe.
Oh yeah,
A
yeah.
white elephant, and then I have an Eringo Brat.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What's the guy that makes the pipes? The really good pipes. It's named after the guy. What's his name? No, I can't find it.
Does it start with an S?
What do you mean, like the company?
Pipe brand. The
Yeah,
brand. The
it's a
brand.
Peterman. Peterman.
Peterson.
Oh, maybe Peterson. Yeah.
Peterson.
Maybe that's
Yeah, I have
what
a,
it is. Yeah,
I have a
Peterson.
Peterson. I have a
Peterson's a famous
yeah.
famous brand. And
Yep.
the Drew Estate ones. What are those called now?
It's it begins with a T. I know that.
Chisuga.
Yeah,
Yes.
something like that. Yeah,
It's something-
Yeah, TS. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like,
Those are
is
some
the
pretty
T
sweet-
silent?
Just Suga. Yeah. TSUGE. Suji. Maybe I forget how to pronounce it. But I picked up one of those. Those pipes are awesome.
Oh, I was thinking of 7 pipes.
Yep.
Seven Ellie's another
Seven.
one. Yeah. Peterson.
Peterson. Peterson.
He was doing
7
he was doing cigars. At one time, I want to say I met him. I think he came into Mr. J's because he was branching out and having a line of his own cigars. Yeah.
Interesting side note, which is kind of related, is Laganisi, which is a big distributorship for pipe cigars. They purchased Caldwell.
Yes, I saw that.
So
I
pretty
saw that.
interesting. So pretty
Yep,
interesting there. Yeah, of course it was an undisclosed amount, but
Right.
right. It's all good.
Maybe
Which,
it wasn't.
we talked.
Now
about
it wasn't Peterson. We're gonna have to do a whole pipe episode.
Yeah, we
now.
should. I'll bring
Yeah.
up.
I have a Peterson pipe. I actually have a couple of pipes. They're in my car. So, I have a 7 Lime, which they don't make anymore. I have an Elijah Cole, which was an alias name. The real guy who made it is Robert Clark. He had passed. He made custom pipes.
Wow.
And he was local. He lived in Warren.
Oh, nice.
And
So super local.
Yep,
Nice.
yeah, and then he probably made, off the top of my head, probably like 100 pipes.
Yeah.
And then when he had passed, the shop owner gave me one of his pipes, and it was like, it's like, because he never really like launched the brand. He did like for friends and stuff
Sure,
like
sure.
that.
Yep.
But like he would make it out of like the actual briar from a
Yeah.
block. And
Yep.
then you would pay to like see the briar. He does a video of him building your pipe and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So stuff like that's super cool.
I have a friend of mine that I met through the cigar community. He's on a couple of Discord servers that I'm on, and he's on Veterans of the Leaf with me. He's on Hooligans. He does the same thing. It's Satellite Mike's pipes. He makes some incredible pipes.
Yeah.
All handmade.
Yeah.
So he'll literally take your order, hand make it, and ship it to you. So I mean, he has a big backlog, but at the end of the day, his hands are on every single one.
Yeah, he
every
gets to
single one
make
of
a
his pipes.
custom pipe, which
Yep.
is super
So,
cool.
so how many pipes do you own?
Me?
Yeah.
I only have 5, but
Only.
So I have 5. Another one I have is from Briarworks, which they make all different pipes and stuff like that. They're an interesting shop, but they're a small shop which they have pipe tobacco and they also have cigars and stuff like that. So
I don't know. Did Joyles continue to carry pipes. I want to say when I go in there now, they might have some pipe
Yeah.
tobacco. I don't even know if they carry
They have
pipes.
pipes.
I know Jenna, the humidor here in Rhode
Oh
Island.
yeah, for sure.
She's
yeah.
big into the pipe thing. And it has been. I mean, since when her dad owned the shop when did her dad own the shop? In the 80s? 70s, 80s?
Early.
Yeah.
It was just, I would say like late 70s, like 78 or
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
And they were, we've talked about this on the show. Now it's all coming back to me. Jana's family blended pipe tobacco.
Yep.
I mean, I think similar, Jim, the way you would like blend whiskey. It's blend. You'd take a certain percentage of this tobacco, a certain percentage of this, and they'd blend their own. And then I want to say the story goes that was like their number one selling. It was like the number one selling pipe tobacco in the state. Like
I believe it was called Yellow Jacket. I
think-
still have
Oh,
some.
I
wow.
think
look at
they
you.
still made Yellow Jacket,
I
but
still
they
have
had
some.
to. I
Like
think
in my car.
They call it like, but now they call it like Yellow Jacket number 2, or maybe it is the same.
Yeah,
Because one
yeah.
of the pipe tobaccos, I want to say they had to swap out for something else, so it's not quite the same.
Yeah.
But Yellow Jacket, still to this day, and I'm glad you remember the name because I would have never remembered the name.
Sure.
It's still an awesome pipe tobacco, but in the awesomeness comes from not just the flavor, but the way it burns.
And also,
because
if-
pipes, are very. This reason why I smoke cigars and not pipes, because I can cut and light a cigar, and it's totally fine.
Yeah.
But a pipe, you guys know, like, and if our listeners, if you haven't smoked pipes or you're just getting into it, right, it's kind of tedious. Like,
Yeah.
you got to put it on the piece of paper, and you got to fill the thing, and then you got to tamp the thing, and you got to make. You don't want to pack it too tight or too loose.
Right.
Yeah.
There's some nuances there. Where a
Right,
cigar, it's you light up a
Right.
cigar.
You're always picking at it, you're lighting it, relighting it.
Yes.
and if I could
baby
jump
in it.
in, the Yellow Jacket is a great blend to break in a pipe.
Because you got to get the cake.
Yeah, because
right?
you got to get the cake up. Because when you smoke a pipe at first, you're like, okay, you really don't get the flavors for
Till
a
you build
while.
up that cake.
Oh, you got to build up the actual cake, and it's super cool because you can put it down. You can put that down and cut your grass for 3 hours and go back and light it.
And it's right.
Yeah.
Because the Drew Estate one has a screw-on cap.
Yeah.
So you can cap
really?
it. Come back.
Yeah,
with it.
yeah,
It's awesome.
yeah.
Now the maintenance on pipe tobacco is not as like you don't have to. It
No.
doesn't have to be in a humidor and.
No, you
a
can
lot
do
easier,
you can do
right?
bag as long as it's
Yeah.
not in direct
I know
sunlight.
people put it in like mason jars.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
you can go buy mason jars or you can do bags, but what's super
I put
cool,
it in a Ziploc bag, and I just put it in my humidor, like, as far away from everything as I can.
Yep. And then also if it ever gets too dry, you can actually spray it with like a mist water
Really?
and then
Like-
shake it
like
in a
distilled-
bag and
distilled water?
It'll rehumidify.
it'll rehumidify. It's just a different process.
It's like that Armenian bread. You can do the same thing with. Except you eat it. But it's the same thing. You put I forget the name of it. I'm bad with the names, but it's a special kind of bread, and you put water on it to kind of soften it up.
Yep.
And then if it dries out again, you can just like hydrate it. It's totally fine.
Nice.
Same thing with pipe tobacco. But don't eat the pipe tobacco.
New.
Let's talk more about cigars.
Yes.
I smoked in I believe this came from Casa Fuente. When was my last summer camp? It was pre-pandemic.
2019.
2019 summer
Yeah,
camp.
yeah.
Probably came from that. It is a Toro Fuente Hemingway with a Rosado wrapper on it.
Uh-huh.
And I remember now talking to the person who was working at Casa Fuente, and he was like, dude, these things are awesome. He's like, it's a great morning smoke. He's like, I've been smoking one every morning. And they came in all the Hemingway
Yep.
sizes.
Sizes, yeah.
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
Two at home.
I don't remember all the Hemingway sizes off the top of my head.
The downside to going to Casa Fuente is they always try and limit you to one cigar of each type.
Well, you just got to go there with multiple people
Right.
that don't
They
are
don't
just
smoke.
that don't smoke or smoke
Yeah,
or smoke. They're just buying one cigar.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, you're not buying that cigar. Buy a different cigar. And then if you make friendly with the people there, this is totally how to hack Casa Fuente. You can be like, I'm here with 5 people and me, so that's 6.
Yep.
So then you buy 6. Yeah, that's what I've done in the past. But this cigar was still awesome. Again, with some age on it,
Yeah.
it was pretty
So speaking,
pretty amazing. This had to be, maybe my guess would be a classic 7x48. I think it was a classic or a signature, one of the two. Classic is 7x48, signature 6x47. And looking at the picture, I don't think I could tell you which one it is, but it was one of those sizes. Awesome cigar.
now while
Probably a fight Chuck Norris, in my
Fight Chuck-
opinion.
nice.
Yes, fight Chuck Norris.
Now, while we were on the Stogie Geeks hiatus, I had the opportunity to meet Carlito Jr. At RCE over here in East Greenwich.
Oh, yeah.
I got to. I mean, he went around the lounge and spent time with people. And because I belong to the Veterans of the Leaf Cigar Club, I ended up giving him a patch. And he's big into military law enforcement. He does a whole thing down in Florida every year for law enforcement and first responders. He took the patch and he said he put it in their headquarters. It's gonna be up
Nice.
there with all the Leo patches. So super cool. Great guy. I mean, want to talk about an awesome dude.
I think I saw pictures. Did you post?
I
you
posted
posted
a picture.
pictures.
I
Yeah,
posted a picture of it. But what a guy, man. I mean,
it's amazing.
in the
family,
cigar
yeah.
world, he's a rock star, right?
Yeah.
And for him to sit down and spend time with every single group of people that were in that lounge, incredible. I
That's
talked
some,
to him for a good half an hour.
It's a lot of social energy
It is.
being
It is.
expended to do that.
A ton.
so.
But he's in it to win it, and he's got to be what, in his 70s, early 70s? Got to be.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Right. I mean, talk about the energy and just wanting to engage with everyone.
It's awesome.
Really, really good guy. Really good.
What'd
guy.
you get for smokes?
From there, I ended up getting, the 4-pack of the Opus, the yellow. I got one of those. They gave out a few of them there too, so it was a good experience. Yeah, I want to say I smoked there. I smoked Don Carlos while I was there.
Don Carlos is awesome.
It's a good stick.
Yeah,
It's a
that's
very
what I
good
smoked
stick.
when I was there.
They got some awesome special releases of the Don Carlos too. I've got a couple of boxes in my humidor, a couple of different
Yeah.
ones, and
Yep.
every once in a while I go back to it and I'm like,
Oh, you know what else? I got some of the pink series there too.
what did you think of the Pink series?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it wasn't just me. Did you get any of the? It's called the Arturo Fuente Rare Pink, Jim.
I have not even heard of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Came
Rare
out in October for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, I believe.
In like
That's-
4 different sizes.
Yeah.
Too, like
Yes.
crazy,
Yep.
crazy sizes.
Yep.
Yep. I think this is their second year on that.
I think so too.
I think
The
it's the
rare pink,
second
the
year
rare
on
pink
that,
has been
yeah.
around as a very rare Fuente cigar
Yep.
for quite some time. I'm not sure exactly when it was released, but they came out. You're right. Recently, this looks like the recent ones in a signature short story,
Yep.
work of art.
Yeah, it's
one
a-
called
it's
a Happy Ending.
Happy ending. It's in
A
those
5.5 by
anyway.
53.
Yep.
A Queen of Hearts with a it's a
Sophisticated
4
hooker.
No, it's not. It's not a hooker.
No, it says sophisticated hooker.
Yeah.
Oh
they-
no! Wait,
yeah.
I'm
they
sorry.
have a
There
sophisticated
is-
hooker stick.
yeah.
Yeah.
There is a happy ending and a sophisticated. The sophisticated hooker is a 7.25 by 53. The
Yeah.
Queen of Hearts is a 4 1/8 by 60. That was the short, fatty
Short
one.
one.
I smoked
Yep,
some of
yep,
those. But again, I thought all of them were just okay.
They were just okay. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I took 3 or 4, and I set them aside.
That's what I had.
I think I bought like 2 of every size. I went to a couple different shops. I
Exactly
smoked
what I did.
some.
Exactly
And
what
I
I
took like whatever I had left at a certain point, and I was like, you know what?
I
Put-
have
put
every
those down.
Vitola resting right now.
Yeah, good for you.
Yep.
I don't think I have every single one, but probably 3 or 4 out of those lines. that
Those
I've got
lost
rested.
cities that you have, Paul, are better.
Which lost cities?
What was that? Lost City Opus? I think are better than the Rare Pinks. It's a
The
black
Lost
label.
City- Lost
It's a
City-
black
oh,
label.
yeah.
Yeah. Those are I think like really spot on. But yeah, the pinks were okay. If you see them knocking around, I'm sure if you go online, Jim, you can probably get 10-pack or something
Yeah,
like
definitely.
that.
You can
And-
get samplers too.
yeah.
You can find samplers. You know what I had? Speaking of black, I had the EP Carrillo Encore Black. That's a good stick.
Yeah.
I haven't smoked
it's got
EPC in some
It's got
time.
some bite to it, but it's a good stick.
Yeah.
Really good stick.
And which one is that?
EP
Carrillo.
Carrillo Encore. I think it's Encore Black. Hold on.
Which one is it?
Ernesto Perez Carrillo. So it's EP Carrillo.
EP Carrillo Black. Yeah, Encore Black.
Yep.
Oh, it's like black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see. No, but that's I just looked at a picture quick. It's a very dark wrapper, but
it's got a dark.
the band on the end is
It's like a full.
dark
It's like a
brown. Yeah.
sleeve.
The sleeve is
Yeah.
black.
Yep.
The sleeve is
as
black.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Connecticut broadleaf Maduro wrapper. San Andreas binder. Yep. And then filler is Condego, Esteli, and Jalapa.
I'll have to pick some of those
really
up.
good stick.
I used to
I
love
was buy a box. I would buy a box of that.
I used to find the New Wave Reserva in the Toro size. And I used to buy bundles and closeouts of them. There was I think Atlantic Cigar had remember I bought like 3 or 4.
Oh, yeah.
It would come up every once in a while, and Atlantic would have 3 bundles. And I would buy every single one. And then they'd be sold out for a year. Like, that's all they would get was 3 bundles.
And you'd buy all 3?
And I would buy all 3. And then sometimes I would find boxes, and then all of a sudden, like, it dried up and went away. And that was one of my most favorite cigars. Every day, smoking cigar, I would smoke one. The reason why I would buy 3 bundles is because I would literally smoke one every day when I got into the office. That was my first cigar, and I never grew tired of it. Like,
That was your go-to for a while.
oh, it's so great. Now, my go-to is
HVC, right?
HVC Cerro Toro.
Nice.
And those, I don't want to see now. I don't want to say what I'm getting because people are going to go buy them. Oh, is that the black?
I got the Black Friday.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, the Black Friday
Black
HVC.
Friday.
Yeah. But I love the HVC Cerro Toro because it's a fuller bodied cigar, but not super high in the nicotine scale. So like you can smoke it in the morning, and it's nothing like smoking in Connecticut. It's got a lot of body, but you don't get the like nicotine sickness from it.
Right.
So that is currently my go-to, for sure. In between there, it was Mi Carita, which I got to get back to.
Oh, yeah.
Uncle Lagro, Mi
what
Carita.
What we have to do as well, which I brought one just in case I was going to smoke it, but these pork tenderloins, the new wave,
Oh, Deluxa? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
we got to smoke these again now that they've been aged.
Oh,
Because I bet
I
you they've
have-
been aged for it. Because remember I bought them, we smoked them, I only had them for about a week or 2. Now I have them aged, and I still have a box. Like I probably have 3/4 of the box still. Maybe half the box.
I have I have a box.
smoke 'em again to see
I
how
have
they
a
are
box
aged.
of Tatuaje that. Where is the link? Oh wait, I got it. It is the Tatuaje Black Label Britannica's Extra. Did I talk about this last time on the show?
Sounds maybe.
Yeah,
Go for it.
I have a box of these that needs to be delivered to me.
All right.
I'm gonna follow up with it.
Oh, you know what I got to
This was the one that I tell you Jeff was giving them out at B-Sides Charm.
Oh, really?
Like, just smoke whatever. And I grabbed one and I was like, dude, the cigar is awesome. And then when I got back, I was like, text me a picture of that. And I had to do a lot of research. And I'm like, no, it's this one. Tatuaje Black Label Britannica's Extra. They only made 500 boxes. It's a Nicaraguan sun-grown Criollo Esteli wrapper, Nicaraguan binder and filler, 5 3 by 48, MSRP of $11. And he bought a box, and I paid him for it, and I still don't have the box yet.
We also have to smoke again because I think I may have maybe 3 to 5 left. The RC number 1s. Remember when I went hunting?
Oh yeah,
Remember I went hunting and
Yeah.
I found them. I think I may have 3.
they were nothing like the originals, though.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just,
the numbers,
I
I
mean,
know.
that's the way this
Yeah.
cigar
But
industry
they've been
goes.
aged now. That's the thing. That was another one where I got the box and I brought it to the show right away. I didn't age those for long. So it'd be cool to do reboots on things that we smoked on the show that needed a bit of age. I found and it's one of those boutique companies that just came out. I mean, 2023 the company came out, but it's called the company's called Lure, like a fishing lure cigar. So right away I was like on it.
You were hooked.
I was hooked. So I have a Corojo and I have a Habano. You guys can pick which ones you want. You can fight over them. But the story of this cigar company is really cool. It spoke to me because of all the conversations that you and I have, Paul. He started the company because him and his father, when he was a kid, used to go fishing and his dad would smoke cigars, right? and it's kind of his memory of him hanging out with his dad and spending time with his father on the lake fishing, great experiences. And dad always ripped a cigar, right? Every single time they went fishing. And it's kind of like me and my son, you know.
I was gonna say, just like our kids will remember us,
right?
Yeah, my dad did the same thing. We'd always be
Exactly.
fishing,
So it's like
smoking cigars.
it's like at the end of the day, I'm like, ooh, I gotta try these. I just ordered them, so maybe let them sit for a little while. But I figured I'd bring them. You guys can
Did you
try
smoke
it.
them yet?
I haven't smoked it yet. I mean, probably 2 weeks. But I figured I'd bring one of each for you guys. You guys can try it, you know, and tell me what you think. But I have quite a few at home, and yeah, I plan to smoke.
So when you
those and
say
see how they do.
boutique, do you mean they're like a non-grower, non-roller?
Yep.
They go and taste a few samples and decide which ones they like, and then they put their label on it. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, so this company works with Valakari Cigar Company to make their cigars. So he works with blenders to build the cigar that he wants, and then puts the line out there.
Nice.
Yep. So, but it's such a cool story. I had to put it out there. So Lure Cigars.
Lure cigars.
Lure Cigars. Yep. And their motto is smoke great cigars and tell tall tales. Like every fisherman, right? Tell
Like
tall
every fish was this big. Outstanding. What else have we been smoking? Joe, what have you been getting after lately? Is it still kind of a mixed bag, or you typically don't? Do you typically have a cigar you smoke regularly, or no?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still on some of the Rojas stuff. Still, it's been a solid 3 years. He's developed a couple sticks from then. He came out with the second version of the Cinco de Mayo.
How was that? I ordered some.
I thought. Well, he also came out like about a month before with the 10th anniversary. I think Cinco de Mayo is better than 10th anniversary.
Yep.
If you smoke a Rojas 10th anniversary, it needs to rest a little bit. Or if you're impatient like me, you do a little small V cut and smoke it slow, and you'll be all right. You know, I've been there was a couple of experimental blends that are coming out. One was coming out with Alec Bradley before purchase that I was on the team for, but that stick probably won't come out. It was supposed to be out already, but when they got purchased by Forged, it was on the back burner. But I'm doing some Rojas. I've been on Espinosa. I'm really digging the Asquero, the 601.
Yep.
Boulevard came out with one with Forge now. It's a Boulevard Robusto that has an Asquero wrapper. I'm kind of into that. The Matt Booth or Room 101 Hit and Run.
Yep.
I've been on that which is, I remember smoking Matt Booth when he was with Camacho way back then, and I was a Room 101 fan for sure. Then he retired, came back, retired, came back.
Yeah, I've had some awesome. I've got some on closeouts.
Yeah.
I've talked about it on the show before.
Yeah.
Oh,
So Room 101 now.
Represent, baby, represent right here.
It's so Room
is that
101.
That's
is
Room
it-
101.
is that
Yeah.
his- oh yeah, that
Yeah.
is his logo.
That's Sakura,
Yeah.
that's the Sakura flower.
Yep. So Room 101 just launched the Hit and Run. Again, I treat cigars like my golf. I like things smaller than a Toro. I rather golf 3 9s a week than just golf 118.
There you go.
You know what I
There
mean?
go.
So I kind of like the smaller cigars. So I'm digging the Robusto Hit and Run. Tried Romeo and Julieta's third crack at a Nicaraguan cigar. It's amazing how some of these classic facings that are known from the Dominican Republic are trying to get into the Nicaraguan game. I think Romeo and Julieta got it right with their Midnight Twist. However, I believe I have a 50-50 shot of getting this right. It's either a collaboration with AJ or it's a collaboration with EP Carrillo. But I've been on that for a little bit, but then I kind of like dwindled out of that. Still on the Rojas and still on the Espinosa stuff for sure. If you want something different from Espinosa, get the wasabi. They're next door. They're so tasty, and they're completely different. Like, don't you know. And then also I've been on some Dissident and some of the newer stuff by Black Label.
Nice.
The Santa Morte by Black Label, and they came up with a new one. Name's escaping me. Oh, Orthodox. I got it back in my Rolodex of labels. I'm like,
So
going
how
through.
many cigars a day do you smoke?
Well, I am a business development rep for a couple of cyber companies, so I have the opportunity to work remote. But believe it or not, I'm a very slow smoker, and I'll burn through like 3 Robustos a day on a 8-hour business workday. So it's not too much, I don't think.
Yep.
You know, we have little kids at home. We have a 6-year-old in September and a 3-year-old who just turned 3. So, I don't really smoke at night and until after bedtime, but I'm still in the mix with kids as far as them being so little. So to go outside on the deck at 8:30 and stay up for another 2 hours, no, I'm good. I'll just have a couple drinks and go to bed at like 10. You know what I mean?
100%
Because so I'm not, I didn't get like my nightlife back yet. That's so to speak. But yeah, so
I mean, I have
3 a day,
I
Jim.
have a 13-year-old and 10-year-old, and I still don't have my life back.
Oh, okay. So you're telling me it's not going to change, right?
No.
So you know.
Yeah, still don't have it back. Still don't have it back.
So you're telling me it's not going to change. So yeah. So it's
I got to go to soccer after this and soccer tomorrow.
Soccer tonight,
and
soccer tomorrow, soccer Sunday.
soccer and baseball tomorrow.
There's an SRI Cup on
Yep.
Sunday.
Yep.
Are you? Oh, but your son's older, so he's
Older.
not playing,
They're not
'cause
gonna
that's
play.
only
Yeah,
U,
so we're
it's a
playing.
U10.
Yeah, we're playing. He has practice tonight, a game on Saturday, a game on Sunday.
Yep.
No doubt.
So we live at the soccer field.
No
It's,
doubt,
It's
100%.
wonderful.
Sin from Dissident they've been coming out with some really cool shit.
Yeah,
Really good.
I'm just getting into the dissident type stuff because we recently had the show and shops are starting to get them. So it's good. I'm not into like the new brands that have come out from the show. I'm very disappointed in what everybody did. I mean, even Autor Fluente just offered Casa Fluente.
Well, was that in 1792?
Yes.
Yes.
1792. Not in the decanter. I did. You know what? Now that I think of it, the red ribbon. I'm gonna hold this up. The red ribbon on this one indicates 1792. What I need to do is I need to get like a little chain with like a little plaque.
There you go.
That has
Yeah.
like a little whiteboard or chalkboard on it, so I can write
Yeah.
on it and then easily like erase it and write what we've been decanting. And these decanters I bought on Amazon, super cheap. They're not expensive at all because again, I was going to be knocking them around on set. And the staves are super cheap too. And I tend to reuse the staves for quite some time. Until I'll use them until if I can notice a difference, then it's time to swap it out, right?
Yep.
So that's been my strategy with bourbon. What's interesting is a word of caution that I haven't talked about yet on the show is one of my decanters must have been a wine decanter. I think it was a Waterford Crystal. It is a Waterford Crystal wine decanter, and it was my grandmother's, and I put a stave in it, and it fit when I first took it out of the package and put it in the decanter. But as all of us know, physics, when wood gets wet, it expands. And the stave is sitting literally in a liquid, and now it won't come out. And again, this is a family heirloom, so how I retrieve that from there, like,
You have to be careful.
if it was in one of these cheap decanters, I would be a little more heavy-handed as to how I would get it out. Now I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. You can't really take a torch to it, like I guess you could, but
You could.
I don't want to damage the decanter.
Right.
I mean, it's a Waterford Crystal decanter. Those are like expensive, right? And it was not even that; it was a family heirloom. So, yeah, so be careful when these staves that I'm ordering come from Amazon, and I've actually been super happy with them, and I can tell you which ones they are actually. I think I gotta search for whiskey because I think the description doesn't. They call them 4-pack barrel aged in a bottle oak infusion spiral barrel aged whiskey rum wine. Wow, that's like an AliExpress title right there.
Wow.
It is called the Oak Infusion Spiral Store is the manufacturer. On the package it says barrel aged in a bottle. You know what? For our live stream, I may just start putting links in the live stream to encourage people to tune into the live stream. So if you tune into the live stream, you get my links.
That's what I did.
Of
I
cool
put a
stuff,
couple
right?
links in there too.
So it is for a 4-pack, $16.95 for 4 of these.
Nice.
And they work really, really well. And I find these don't get stuck. These have a diameter that will go in most decanters. I haven't gotten any of these stuck. The one that's stuck is obviously a larger diameter and got stuck in the decanter. So I'm digging it, man. Like I want to get to the infinity barrel, Jim, that you have, but short of that, what I've been doing, I find works really, really well. Because every time we do a podcast here, we drink whiskey, and so if I start buying expensive whiskey, our operating cost goes up significantly. So I have to find ways to manage our operating budget. As again, we just took over this studio on May 1st,
Right.
and haven't even. I mean, other than my quick announcement at the top of this show, we haven't announced even the name Hacker Syndicate up until this point.
Wow.
Because we just took it over. So this you can see is the same Security Weekly studio that we're making minor improvements on this studio side. We're looking for more sponsors for Stogie Geeks. Jim, if you want to send me Threat Hunter AI things, we'll get them.
I'd love to.
Yeah, we'll put them here on set. Yeah. So, stickers, whatever, shirts wearing the show, whatever. So the benefit of the studio is you can get some branding as well. And again, we're working on, we get the telephone receptacle we're going to be putting in. Awesome. And we're working on the lighting too. Because we inherited a lot of this lighting. So I'm still trying to get it set. But things have been, it's a whole new journey. Mm-hmm. It's a whole new journey.
Love it.
Which is awesome.
I'll tell you the last third of this Cypher 3311, outstanding. You get
So how's that? So Jim, you're smoking the Davidoff Signature Perfecto, right?
No, I've moved on. I'm on the Ocean Breeze.
Okay. What was the Ocean Breeze? Fill me in. Lampert Ocean Breeze. Yep.
Yes.
So Lampert's a line I should check out then.
Yes. Yeah. You should check out Lampert.
Okay.
I think I have one more of those Ocean Breeze in my humidor.
But my usual, my go-to every day is a Davidoff Nicaragua box press.
Yes, love that cigar.
That for me, that's just
love that
one of those constants, right?
Yep.
And then lately, I've also been throwing in Plasencia Fuego.
Yep.
Robusto size.
Yep.
And then occasionally a Drew Estate. I'm not as varied as you guys are. I probably smoke 3 per day, but I'm pretty narrow. My collection is I may have 1,000 cigars, which sounds like a lot, but it really isn't.
No.
Right?
Agreed.
And it's pretty narrow. And so that's why I like to go to the lounge, because at the lounge we have a lot more there.
And you can sample. Yeah.
And I can sample. And it's also beneficial that I part own the lounge now. Awesome. And so get to sample a lot of a wide variety of things. Clearly not as much as Joe though.
Well,
yeah,
Jim,
Joe's very, very diversified in his cigar smoking, and I do. We got like roughly 12 minutes. Although, I mean, it's our show, so we can do whatever we want.
Well,
which is what I love now. This is our thing, and we can do whatever the hell we want. And it's our studio now, so we can do whatever the hell we want. This is it's a glorious time right now. Let's get at it.
2 things, Jim. The record is 5 hours and 46 minutes for the longest Stogie Geeks episode. It was the tequila episode. where we actually ordered a pizza during the show because Paul and I were getting drunk side by each, as we
Oh
say
my
here.
God! Holy
And-
crap!
and-
I was drunk, probably the most drunk I've
Yeah.
ever been on a podcast.
Yeah, that
and
was-
that's I've done in the past 20 years, almost 20 years. I've been doing podcasts since 2005. And that's probably the most drunk I've ever been on a podcast. So if you go into our Stogie Geeks archive, you can find the tequila episode and fast forward to like the last 30 minutes. And that's the most drunk Paul has ever been on a podcast, hands down.
But Jim, I have a question for you. When you go do sampling, right? Like what's your process like? Like, because you obviously you're a pot owner in a cigar shop, so you get samples sent to you frequently of people trying to get shelf space. Do you evaluate that, or do you kind of like leave that out? Because Paul and I get shipments here as well, as far as some sampling and stuff like that.
Yeah,
from
like I
different
said,
programs.
we're welcoming more sampling. Like I understand we took a year off, right? And so we welcome more sampling. So Jim, over to you. How do you sample?
How do I sample? Well, I'm not the expert, right? So a good example is 3 weeks ago, I got to try 2 different brands, which I won't mention their names, and found that they were not to my liking.
Sure.
You
they
can
were
say the brand,
probably,
Jim.
You can say the brand name.
You can
You haven't believe me.
Look, I'm not, and I'm the same way in all my podcasts, cybersecurity or cigars, right? And we can talk about things we don't like. It's our opinion. It doesn't mean it's a bad cigar. It doesn't mean it's a bad cybersecurity vendor or solution. We just, I like to, number one, stick to the facts. And then if it's an opinion, call it an opinion. It wasn't for me. I tried this software, didn't work for me. I tried the cigar, didn't work for me. Dude, totally fine. So and our listeners like that. They want to know our opinions, Jim.
I tend to look for lighter cigars because I tend to smoke more in the morning than I do in the evening. And so I'm looking for something that is not so heavy. And I also really enjoy, like the Davidoff Perfectos, the shorts. I really enjoy smaller size cigars because then I can have actually more of them during the day, right? So after this Zoom, I'll probably go outside, have a small short cigar outside, relax a little bit, and then come back in and go back to work, right? So my way of sampling is I'll tend to lean towards the lighter things and not try and grapple with those giant toros, the 60 gauge, and I have to be alone. This sounds weird, but I have to be alone to figure it out without any noise around me, without anyone else around me.
I agree. When I'm reviewing cigars, I like to be alone and not typically at my desk while I'm working.
Right.
Then I'm distracted. Right.
Correct.
I like
and
to
if
late
I'm
at
around
night if I'm
smoking
watching a movie, and it's rare. Late at night watching a movie in my office, it's rare. But that's when I like to smoke cigar that I'm going to review.
If I'm smoking something for the first time that I'm trying to figure out if I like it or if I want to buy more of it, it's hard for me because others will have already tried it and will be giving me their opinions on it.
Oh yeah, don't do
and
that.
And the flavors that they have and everything else, and to me, it's just kind of background noise that gets in the way of me figuring out whether or not my palate enjoys it, whether or not I enjoy those flavors or not. And the same goes with when I'm trying new whiskeys. It's the same thing. I have to try it by myself first, without anyone else around. Figure out if I enjoy it or not.
Yeah, because I had that old Fitzgerald whiskey. And I'm not sure which one it is. And I still have the bottle. It's in my office at home. So remind me. I just need to, when I'm at my home office, turn around and take a picture of it. Actually, I probably have a picture of it, and I can tell you while I'm talking. But I found that old Fitzgerald to have a very grassy hay flavor to it
Okay.
that I did not enjoy. And I was excited to find a bottle of old Fitzgerald whiskey because it's a pretty well sought after bottle. You could probably tell me more about it, Jim.
Well, I
The
mean,
old Fitzgerald is where does that come from?
so it really depends on which old Fitzgerald, right? You know, there's the
Mhm.
9-year, there's a 10-year, there's a 12-year, and each year is going to be a different release of it, right? And so it depends on which year it was, which year it was released, and how old it is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you know, like this one right here.
All right, I got it. I got it right here. It is bottled in bond. It's an 8-year old Fitzgerald, 8 years aged. It says fall of 2023, 100 proof, 50% alcohol is all it says on the outside of the bottle. So it's the 8-year.
So it's the 8-year 2023.
Yep.
Okay. I could see the grassy tones to it. Yes.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
could,
And
I
I
could
just
see that.
in it's funny in cigars. Oftentimes, some Davidoffs and Avo cigars will have that grassy flavor. We've talked about it on Stogie Geeks episodes in the past. And what I like to do is age those cigars a little bit so it's less of a grassy undertone because it tends to age out a little bit. And I come to appreciate them as something different. Maybe not something I'd smoke every day, but I like it. And a lot of people, when they have that grassy flavor in cigars, are like, I don't like it. I had not experienced that level of grassy flavor in a whiskey before, and I was like, "Wow!"
So was that
I like.
the
I
very
really don't
first
like.
pour out of the bottle?
It was very first pour out of the bottle.
Okay. So sometimes what also occurs is you get that bottle funk, right?
Oh, is that a thing? Like the package. My wife will say this. If I get, we just did it. I think last night. She had bought some steak tips and some lamb, a rack of lamb, and we got home and I'd rip open the packages to start seasoning them and let them rest before I put them on. Actually, I was putting them on the Blackstone. I don't recommend you do the rack of lamb on the Blackstone. Everything else I put on the Blackstone has been amazing. Rack of lamb comes out way better over an open fire.
Yeah.
But when I open up the packages, I get that package funk. And she's like, that meat's bad. I'm like, I've now barbecued enough meat to know bad versus package funk. I'm like, that smell's gonna go away. I'm like, I can just tell now. Like, but you have to train your palate to do that.
Right.
But your palate seems like it's been trained with whiskey. That first opening of the bottle, you get that, like anything that's been sealed up airtight. Well, I don't know why. There's a scientific reason for it. Obviously, will kind of have that kind of a funky smell and taste. Is
Correct.
that true with whiskey?
I think so. You know, usually that first pour, you know, you should go back to that bottle and taste it again.
You know what's
Right.
funny? I drank the whole bottle. I said I didn't like it, but I drank the whole bottle. I shared it with family as well, but like I drank the whole bottle. And so the empty bottle is in my office.
Wait, you drank it all in the same sitting?
Not in the same city. No. Over time. I bought it Christmas time. Actually, I could tell you exactly the date. December 25th is when I cracked it open, 2023. And the first glass, I was like, I don't like it.
Yeah.
But you're right. After a couple of months, and then it was gone. The later glasses, I'm like, oh, that's better because it didn't taste
Right.
as grassy.
Correct. It sort of smooths out a little bit. It gets that air, gets a little bit it gets oxidized a little bit, right? I would say that like the one I drank the other day, this guy, which is the fall 2018 release 9-year. You know, it's got like half a bottle left. When
I want to know. I want to
opened-
know the story from 2 weeks ago because 2 weeks ago, so Jim's on the West Coast. We record at 12:30, so it's 9:30 in the morning for Jim. Last week you were drinking whiskey. This week, now the second incarnation of the rebooted Stogie Geeks, you're not drinking whiskey. Is that because like you need to take a nap a couple weeks ago after that?
No. Never ever get kidney stones.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
Yeah. No, bueno.
No bueno. For
Yeah,
sure.
no bueno. And I'm on meds right now, so mixing the meds with alcohol. Although I do splurge and I shouldn't, and
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that splurge for tonight rather
Oh,
than
yeah.
right
There
now.
you go.
No, that makes total sense, Jim. Where I wanted to segue as we close out the show, and I want to table this for next time, but I think it's a really cool thing to leave our listeners and you all collectively with is that I explained some of what's been happening with the studio, right? So we basically now have 1,000 square feet, and we've got a lot of stuff in here. One of the things that we have is a humidor that I bought from the cigar lounge next door years ago. So next door had bought these two giant cabinets. Jason, Joe, what would you say? They're roughly 4 feet
4
wide
feet
by
wide,
7 feet
seven.
tall.
Yep.
Double glass door humidors. I estimate you could put 50 to 100 boxes in that humidor pretty easily. There's some drawers for singles as well. It's a pretty massive cabinet.
Yeah, it's a beautiful humidor.
Thank you. And so it's
So you're
traveled.
saying we have to fill it?
Yeah, but
yes.
so I'm just trying to give the background of the humidor, right? Because it came from the cigar lounge next door, and then there's a unit between this unit and the cigar lounge. It was there, and then it was in here in this unit, and then it was back over here, and then this weekend we moved it back over here, where it's just like adjacent on set.
Yep.
But given everything that's happened, so I have two cabinets at home and one cabinet here. And just I'll spare you all the details. Maybe I'll share some on the next episode. The humidor is empty.
Yes.
And because we smoked a lot of cigars on it, and then I consolidated when we took a break for Stogie Geeks and the whole thing. So right now, that humidor is empty. How would you, what's your opinion, those on the show and those listening, like, weigh in. Send us messages on social media or email on paul@stogiegeeks.com. Joe at stogiegeeks.com. Jason, I don't know, and Jim, I haven't created emails for you guys yet. But Joe and I have stogiegeeks.com emails. Send us some feedback. How would you fill a humidor that's empty,
Right.
that holds, I think my estimation is that you need at least 50 boxes to get it going. Because if you just put a couple of boxes in a giant cabinet like
Right.
that,
Yeah.
it's not going to hold the humidity very well. Like, you need a good 25 to 50 boxes just to
Yeah.
kind of hold the humidity. So before I do that, I've also got to wipe down the entire inside because it's been sitting empty in
You have to season it
the
again.
humidity. I have to reseason it,
Yep.
which means I got to wipe down the entire cabinet with a sponge with distilled water, right? And that's about a gallon of distilled water, really just to season it and get it going again. Let it sit, then put the cigars in it, then probably another gallon of water to recharge the beads, which I gotta probably buy some more beads for it. And it has Cigar Oasis humidification system in it as well. And so, like, how would you fill that? But we're talking thousands of dollars to fill it, right? 25 to 50 boxes just to get you started is at least a couple $1,000 just to fill that bad boy back up.
Absolutely. Yep.
So maybe we're accepting donations.
I was gonna say, I was waiting for you to finish. You want to start a GoFundMe? It sounds like a GoFundMe moment.
We need a GoFundMe moment, and then maybe it's if you come down to the studio, you get to pick some cigars out of it and smoke it with us, kind of thing. Make it like a social thing.
Yeah.
If you're at GoFundMe, and then you visit the studio, which I would love to bring back visitors into the studio again.
100%.
The whole history is a long story, but pandemic played into that where we didn't have a lot of visitors in the studio, which is one reason why the humidor is empty. So, yeah. How would you fill? I want to hear from our listeners as well. How would you fill 25 to 50 boxes on like a budget too? I mean, sure, we could fill it with 25 or 50 boxes of Padron or Davidoff, and we're talking about more like 5 to 10 grand.
Right.
To fill it, but how do you fill a humidor like that now? And I did order a bunch of. I was using Holtz to order some, on sale cigars to help fill it, and there were other people who would store their cigars in there as well. So you guys are more than welcome. Once it gets going, we can allocate space. Because again, to go from 0 to 50 boxes is a significant investment. So I'd love to hear from our listeners, and we'll talk about it next time on the next episode, which is 2 weeks from now.
Yep. We need a collaborative, like they do with farms.
Yes, yes. It's a big humidor,
Need a
dude.
collaborative.
It is a big humidor. So
Do you have photos of it?
Yeah, well, we can.
yeah, I'll
take
send you a
picture.
photo. Yeah. Well, you know what? I'll post a photo on social media.
And we should do like a when people do fundraisers, they have that giant thermometer, you know. At
Right,
Yes.
exactly.
And
Exactly.
Have a cigar thermometer.
Have we hit our limit yet?
you're right.
Still not full. Keep sending
Keep
cigars.
sending
Keep
them.
sending.
So, yeah. So any lounges or any companies out there that want to
Maybe we sell sponsorship in the
sponsor-
humidor, right?
Yeah, humidor sponsorship.
You want a section? You send us 10 boxes, and we'll put
you
your,
go,
your
there you
name
go.
on
That's
there,
it.
and we'll post
Ooh, that's
pictures
an
of it and
idea.
talk about it on the show, right?
100%. I love it.
Awesome. Well, that will conclude this episode of the Stogie Geek Show. Joe, Jason, and Jim, thank you very much for joining me today. It's been awesome. I'm so excited that we're doing this show again, and that we managed to reboot it and keep it going. And every other Friday is a treat when we get to do this show. And I want to thank everyone for listening and watching. And we'll see you next time on the Stogie Geek Show.